Oh, it's live.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for our random Monday Paintapalooza. I'm actually just going to text Caitlin and let her know that we are live now so she can send out the text to our text subscribers.
We just got back from California last night. It was a long drive. Actually, more snow on the roads in California than in Utah, but it's snowing today, so we're back hunkered down.
We have more snow like sitting out here. Where we were at was about 10 degrees. In Anaheim, it was about 10 degrees warmer, but raining and wet. So yeah. We're glad to be home. There is nothing as comfortable as your own bed. I'm just like, every time I get back into the bed after a long trip, I'm like, oh, that feels good.
Even when we stay in nice hotels, we're always like, our bed's better.
So we're super excited. We're going to be doing a bunch of different stuff. If you're new to Paintapalooza, we go thrifting every week. We do a Saturday thrift haul, and then the next week we try to go live at some point and get a lot of it painted up because we sell it at JamieRayVintage.com and in our shop here in Lehigh, 1190 North, 500 West.
Got it right.
So I know I never say that right. So Zeb's going to be working on, what are you focusing on today?
So right now, real quick, I'm just going to whip up some salt wash and some skeleton key and DIY paint. And we're going to paint all the tall things, meaning this and these lamps that I just set down over here. And possibly even this nativity is going to get salt washed just because it's so shiny and we want to make it look more like stone or cement, and that's what we're going to do.
All right, so I just dropped the link to our website where you can buy the thrifted items, but if you're wanting paint and products, you can also just click that link and then just go over to the paint items. Zeb's using skeleton, no, this is skeleton keys for this, Farm Fresh with salt wash.
Farm Fresh with the salt wash.
Yeah.
On all the tall stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Had it backwards. Whoops.
But don't you need to attach that to the base first?
No. We're going to do some stuff.
You got some stuff
I got to do some gluing. This will get painted last. I got to glue it up, but I'm going to make my salt wash up now.
Okay. So the nativity has already sold. So hopefully they're great with skeleton key and clear and dark wax because that was my opinion.
It'll be good.
I'm going to be doing a lot of old school today. I only have about this much left in my quart, which I think will be enough for what I need to do. First things first, we have this really cute basket. We thrifted it for like $2. Oh, the dog's inside. Sorry.
The dogs are in the back.
The dogs are in the back.
Odelia
left the door
shutter, and every time she comes in the house, the dogs get outside in the front yard, and they're not good with the street.
Are the dogs still in the backyard, Zeb?
Yeah, they are.
I don't see them running around.
They're back there.
Are you sure?
And our neighbor's dog actually just got ran over like a week ago.
So we're trying to be super careful, but the kids are not great.
Not that you want to hear that news, but that's why Jamie is running around frantically looking for the dogs.
I still don't see them.
They're out there. They've been playing. No one let them in. All right, so equal parts salt wash to whatever paint you're using. The DIY paint is extra thick.
There they are.
I just eyeball it when I'm mixing it up. You know, if I get it a little thick, I'm going to add a little water. The paint's water soluble, so not a big deal.
They're playing in the snow. Yes. So I'm sure any minute now we're going to get that we're cold barks. So we have our new JRV stencils. They were released like about a month or so ago. And we have, wow. Time flies when you're having fun and junking and painting. But we have the French fruit packs. There's 3 different packs with French fruit labels. And so I've got this basket that I picked up for $2. And I'm going to stencil this on there. I've got just a drop cloth that I cut to size, and then I will decoupage it onto my basket. One of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to use old school to stencil. And you want to go a little bit juicy when you're stenciling fabric.
So that's a little thin. I'm going to add just a hit more of the salt wash in there because I want it to really stand up. If you got it mixed up nice and thick, it'll stand up straight off your fork or spoon or whatever you're mixing with.
So if you're stenciling not fabric, you want to offload a lot, but fabric soaks it all up. So if you offload too much, it takes forever. But it's like this happy medium because I want to make sure that I don't have to do it a lot, but I also don't want to mess up because you can't really distress fabric. I mean, I have, but it's not easy.
Okay.
Odelia, make sure to shut the door all the way, please.
Yeah, you left the door open.
And turn the knob.
She's so sad about it. It's because it's an antique door. You have to like hold it with the knob and close it and let it go and then pull it to make sure that it actually, the latch released. The other night I came downstairs and it was all just open. Oh, now your mom let the dogs in.
Shh.
It's going to be
Cody.
the dog show today.
Sorry, guys. Go see Grandma.
She was, if anyone's got a soft heart for those dogs around here, Grandma will not leave those dogs out there. I'll let them play out there all day, get all frozen and snowy. They're dogs. That's what they do. And Grandma sees them out there. She's like, they must be freezing.
Spoiled puppers. They're all getting baths today. They stink, those 2 dogs. All right, sorry, I haven't been looking at comments. Deborah says, can't wait to get my order in tomorrow. Did everyone have a basket in that skipping short at Disney? We did not have any baskets at Disneyland, but we do always like to skip down the California land. Let's see, those candlesticks are amazing. I'm just making sure everybody's good. Oh, and are these the new paintbrushes? Why, yes, they are.
So we went and saw a surprise. We left a day early so that we could beat the snow heading down there, which if you saw last week's videos, we talked about that extensively. Anyway, we beat the snow. Everything was fine. Trip went great. Car ran great. No mechanical issues or accidents. Very safe the whole time. But we got into California like 12 hours earlier than we were expecting to be there. And so we went down to San Diego and saw Debbie on our way. And then we went up to Anaheim. But we did a quick little live stream with her, totally just off the cuff, random. And she had a few of these brushes that were samples for her to use. And she gifted us one of each.
So they aren't actually in and ready to ship. They're still on pre-order. But I've told her they should be in port on the 28th. So we'll be shipping them. We are estimating by the end of March, but I actually think it'll be sooner. But we like to under promise and over deliver.
We're a month behind. We thought that they would be
end of January or middle of February.
But when you're shipping things with logistics these days, so this should be in port tomorrow, is what we've been told. And then however long it takes to get them off the boat and to us.
As soon as we get them, our shipping team will be Johnny on the spot. Okay, so I'm just going to pull off my stencil here. I actually did a pretty good job.
Okay, I got to get the paint.
I'll let this dry, and then I can decoupage it onto my basket. If you put enough decoupage medium, it does not come off, and it looks super cute. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm not painting the basket because I love the color, and it's matte, like it doesn't have a finish on it. And I love baskets that aren't shiny. So I have paper set out back here for my drying rack. And I'm going to keep moving. Next up, I want to dry brush this cute little basket because I want a stencil on the front of it. So I'm going to grab, which one do you think would be good? I'm going to use this one. I don't know the names of any of these paintbrushes. Let me see if I can grab the link to the brushes and drop them. Normally we have Caitlin on here, but
this is a surprise
live, so she is busy doing other stuff.
We did go thrifting already this morning, and we're like, do we really want to do a thrifting video? We have so much to paint and so much to do tomorrow. The basketball team won they won their first round of the playoffs. Quarterfinals are Wednesday. We were worried that maybe they wouldn't make it, although I don't know why, because they're pretty good. But anyway, that was happening while the girls were at nationals. So now the girls are back to cheer for the rest of the playoffs, and I'm super excited because we thought that because it's single elimination, if the boys had gotten out this weekend, then we would have. I think the girls are in the playoffs too. Girls basketball.
The handles for the brushes are made in Germany. That much I know, and they are assembled and then shipped over to the U.S. The bristles, I'm not positive. A lot of times things get imported from one country and put together, but I know the handles are done in Germany, and they are so dang pretty. And I love that they all have leather, so you can hang them up to dry. I'm actually thinking we're going to need to come up with some sort of DIY drying rack with a bunch of hooks on it that we can sell. People can like hang up their brushes. I think that would be fun.
They're awesome brushes. All right, so this is just 5 pieces of scrap MDF. We have a ton of it after doing craft kits. Just the little ends that are left over that are great for small projects. Jamie when we were in Round Top, Jamie bought a block of wood. It was actually oak that looked similar to this in size, and it had a dome on it, and nothing fancy, just the old corners rounded over. So I'm going to try to simulate that. Going to round the corners over. Oh, don't touch it.
I'm just trying to fix it.
Well, it's going to move around for a minute because I'm going to move it. I'm going to touch it like 8 more times. And this is that piece, that tall finial that we cut the bottom off from. And I'm going to screw this in. We're going to salt wash the whole thing. And I think with the rounded edges, it's going to look pretty good.
I need to mix this up.
And we'll bring you in for close-ups in a little bit on that. Okay. So just a little bit of wood glue. This should only take about 10 minutes to set up and be workable. This MDF, that's the thing about it. It sucks that wood glue up and gets super strong pretty fast.
Always mix up your cottage color. Before you freak out, I bought this knife for 25 cents at the thrift store, so it's not like priceless silverware.
Well, you had a set of Lennox silverware, and that's pretty much gone. The kids used that to dig in the backyard. Or took it to school with them and never brought it back.
Any more cute dog in the window situations? Debbie was laughing as Debbie sent me a video of us from last week, and you could see the dogs in the window. Actually, if you pay real close attention, you can see Cody go in the bathroom. Like, thanks, Cody. All right, this one.
I was editing that to put it up, and I'm like, Cody.
I actually think I'm going to use.
Come on, man.
I'm going to use this one, the skinny brush, long one, because it'll fit in the jar better. And I think it's like made so that way you don't overwork your paint. And I think that'd be good for dry brushing. What do you think?
Well, we won't know till we try.
I'm not using
these brushes. It's got a super long, soft bristle on it. And because it's so long, it makes it more difficult for you to overwork it and pull off that first coat of paint. Okay. It's still, you know, the DIY paint, if you've used it, it's got amazing coverage. So you don't have to really worry about that. It works with all the brushes, but particularly well. That's what these brushes were designed for. So
this is cottage color in white linen. Make sure if you're using the DIY cottage color, which is the Jamie Ray Vintage line, the DIY makes with us, however you want to look at it, that you are stirring it up because it has a built-in top coat. So I'm just dry brushing the texture on this.
Busting back out to California on Thursday next week to go finalize colors and things with Debbie and maybe do some paint blending and mixing and matching and just really dialing those in so that we can send the factory, like, we absolutely want this color. If we can only have a few colors, we have to have this one, and this one. I think we have plans of going to Kobe's and doing some live streams while we're out there with the new paint and working with the new colors. And Debbie had mentioned, I don't think we've really talked about it, maybe something to look forward to next weekend. We're going to do like color wheel type stuff with the paint colors that are sent to us and do some blending there and then put it out to you guys to
see what colors you like.
Be like, hey, what are your favorites?
Take some votes. I'm excited about that for sure. We definitely need more colors in the lineup. I think we're getting like 3 colors and we're going to start with 3
for sure. I don't know. Maybe we can persuade them to do some more.
So I'm excited about that. We need lots of support with it because the better these colors do, the more colors we will get in the future. All right. So this now has a completely different look. It's got the white dry brush on there. I think I'm going to dry brush on one more coat on the front just because I'm going to be stenciling the front and I want it to be nice, a little bit more solid than it currently is. I'm hoping this is the look that I wanted when I saw this basket. Okay, going on my drying rack over here. Next project. I actually don't have a lot.
This is looking pretty bright, but I think if we add like some hits of copper, maybe some white wax, some selective dark wax, this is going to have like a really good verdigris look when we're all done. And
what color does Zeb have? Zeb is using Farm Fresh mixed with salt wash. Not to be confused with Apothecary. Apothecary is the lighter version to me of Farm Fresh. It's more green. Farm Fresh is more of a duck egg blue. And we're salt washing these to give it texture so that way we can layer on another color. We will be two-toning these. They'll probably be copper or gold wax on them. And we also need to texturize the other knob on top because the other one is smooth because it was not the correct knob.
We don't have anything to do until like 4 o'clock today. So we're going to get these projects done because, you know, That's the Paintapalooza.
Well, the kids get home at 3:40, so we definitely.
I don't think I have the
I don't think I have-
endurance to last until
that long.
4 o'clock on a live stream.
But we're
sometimes you got to take breaks and like get a drink and
go to the bathroom.
I did drive 10 hours, 11 hours yesterday, and we walked 24,000 steps our first day at Disney, which is it's like 11 and a half miles, and then we did over 25,000 our second day at Disney, and that is over 12 miles of walking.
I did drop, sorry, I was talking to anyone interrupt him, but a while ago I dropped the link to the new to JRV. If you go to like the second or third page, you will find these brushes on there. You will also find some stuff. Last week we got new products in, some cute bags, clothes, home decor, but because we were out of town, I did not have a chance to do our Thursday shop live. So you can get first dibs on that stuff. Hopefully there will still be some new items that we can show off on our video on Thursday in the shop. We actually have already, well, the link that I dropped for the new to JRV, there's these bags on there and they must be super cute, especially in person, because we sold 2 bags right away in the shop the second they hit the floor last week. I think it was like Friday or Saturday. I haven't even actually seen them in person. I just ordered this online and Ivy put it in, so I'm excited to get to the shop and check it out. So I'm just using old school here. I'm painting. I'm using this detail type brush. It's pointy. It's helping me get in all the detail of this angel.
Once we're all done with this, like the top half, I'll flip it over once it's drier and paint the bottom.
Yeah, or whatever. It doesn't have to have
that might actually happen off camera.
Yeah, that doesn't have to have texture on the bottom.
No.
We did already go thrifting today, so we'll have a thrifting video up tomorrow. I'll get that edited for you guys. If you guys are channel members, we will have Waste Not Wednesday, but also not channel membership, sorry. Business coaching on Tuesday. Channel membership will not be until next week because we did channel membership last week before we went out of town. Didn't we leave Tuesday?
We left Tuesday.
Yeah, we did our channel membership, we did our business coaching, and we bounced before the storm came into town. It's all a blur last week. It was just, Disney is so fun, but it's so much work with kids and keeping everybody happy and on all the rides and well fed and dry. Keeping people dry was a
So it was raining and cold the whole time we were there on Saturday, but we had such a fun time. We got on so many rides because the park wasn't very busy, and
we thought it would be because it was the Cheer Nationals, which is why we were actually there.
Yeah, for
the 5 minutes.
Odelia did so good. No deductions.
They didn't win, but
like someone beat them out with a harder routine, but the girls like nailed it. Like I've never seen them do a performance as clean as that.
It was so good. And we're excited we get to watch Odelia. It's state playoffs for basketball. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
I heard you say that. Excited to watch her cheer some more this week, but
yeah, we only have like a couple more times to watch Odelia cheer. Once basketball's over, cheer season's done. They do a banquet. They're on to new tryouts, and Eliza is actually trying out for JV as she'll be a freshman next year in the fall. And tryouts are already like in March coming up for Eliza.
Good. The cheer banquet's next Monday. I'm like, shoot, did I book our flight when Odelia's cheer banquet was? Because then I'd have to cancel and reschedule.
We missed it last year.
What did we miss it? Not last year.
We were in England.
Wait, no, it was the year before, I think.
No,
we missed it last year.
We went in March and October last year.
Well, can't miss the senior cheer banquet.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're Odelia will be done with cheer, and Eliza is going to start her high school cheer. There is a sophomore team, but she wants to make it up to JV. You can't be on varsity as a freshman unless they have like illnesses or injuries. And
for competition season, they occasionally move up freshmen, but not like the regular season because there's too much going on, and our freshmen still go to middle school.
Yeah. So
is there a clay mold or is resin bendel? So we use. Sorry, were you gonna say something? I was just answering questions.
No, I think I'm done. I don't remember what I was saying if I'm not. So.
I'm sorry. Still recovering from being on vacation. Is there a clay mold? So we use IOD's air dry clay and it works great. I feel like if you use resin, you get more extensive detail. The air dry clay is more moldable and it works better on really curved surfaces, or it cracks by nature, so it looks more hand carved.
Yeah,
in
you
my
get
opinion.
more authenticity with the clay for sure.
So we use both, and we do carry the air dry clay at JamieRayVintage.com. Okay. There was another. Where did Odelia's name come from? So my Aunt Willie, my mom's sister just passed away last week, and her name was Willie Odelia, and my daughter is named after her. And my Aunt Willie is named after another Odelia. It's a long family name, popular in the South, or at least it was back in the day, and that's where her name came from. Oh, Tony brought over a bunch of stuff the other day. Tony has the other one, just like this red one that she's going to bring to us. Thank you, Tony. If you asked a question, though, and I missed it, let me know, and I will answer that later. I would like to know more about the business coaching you offer. Kelly Ray, it is $24.95 a month. You can sign up at JamieRayVintage.com under recurring memberships is the tab. It's the same place you sign up for our craft kit, but there's just a different
subscriptions.
Tab. Subscriptions, yeah. And we go live once a week. We cover different topics. Last week, we covered like how to be productive with your time and also how to come up with 12 months worth of content. We cover different things. Sometimes it's just motivation. Sometimes it's how-to. Sometimes it's business strategies. And then we also answer
pretty pictures.
Yeah, we also answer questions throughout the week as we can for business coaching. And then the other thing that's great is we have a ton of really smart, awesome people in there that will help you out that are just members of the group. And we take all of our videos are in files. So if you're new and you need all the information, you can actually just go back through files and watch old videos and get lots of great business coaching from lives past, because we do try not to like duplicate stuff over and over again.
I mean there is some overlap. There's some overlap.
But we can't like constantly every week obviously be starting from like the basics of business. So that's why we save all of our videos so you can go back through and find what you need. And if you can't find what you need, you can ask for help. And we typically each week's topics are picked based off of what we're seeing people ask in the group, like what are common questions, and then that helps direct us to what kind of business coaching we need to do. And the lives go anywhere from half an hour to an hour, depending on our schedule, depending on how long it takes to cover it. We try not to waste people's time. So if we've explained everything and we're done in half an hour. If it's a live where there's lots of questions and interaction and we need to take longer, then we will. So
we've been contemplating putting it in like a course, like you can just purchase the course and have the videos, but we are not that organized and have not had time to do that among our other projects yet. So.
Well, I feel like it's also like super comprehensive to be able to ask questions in real time as things happen.
Be like, oh, Facebook changed this last week. This is what we're doing to counteract that.
And there's just like no possible way for us to know what every question is. Sorry, this is taking me a while. This angel is so detailed.
I'm having struggle with my detail too. I'm like on the second lamp. I'm like stuffing it in all the corners and cracks.
Just making sure. So this angel actually lights up, I believe, but I have not tested it. So, okay, she's finally covered. She's going to get white waxed, but she just looked really plasticky before, and I think she's going to look a lot better with this old school paint on her. So I'm going to touch up where I'm touching once I put her over here in the drying rack. Okay.
But we've been gone for actually like a week. We left last Tuesday and we had pre-recorded all our videos. We have like lots to tell people right now.
Yeah,
a lot has happened in the last week.
I feel like that's why we decided to go. Normally we go live on Tuesdays, but we're like, let's go live on Monday because we have not been live with our friends for like an entire week. Since a week ago Saturday was the last time we went live. So we just were like, let's get some stuff done. Plus I'm literally just going to be painting old school for a hot minute. So hopefully it doesn't get boring here, but it is what it is. All right. Any more questions? What color is that painting? The lamp he's using Farm Fresh.
Farm Fresh mixed with salt wash.
Mixed with salt wash to add some texture.
So it's like super thick, amazing coverage.
And you can take off the harp. You don't need to leave that on.
Yeah, it's
bugging you.
I
used the clay on my dresser. I redid. I loved it so much. Now I need the farm animal molds. The farm animal molds from IOD that we carry are so dang cute. We use them a lot.
Right. Well, we didn't use them too. Well, actually, we did use them even for Christmas decorations. We made a bunch of ornaments with farm animals.
They're really versatile. I'm excited to do like fairy garden type ornaments for Christmas next year with the new.
I got something today that I think would look really good with the mushrooms on the bottom of the base of it.
we always, one of our pro tips when we're thrifting, especially if we have new products to work with, because we have to show everybody the new products all the time, we're constantly thinking like, okay, how can we use those products on the items that we're buying? And that helps keep us focused and gives us an idea of what to do.
I'm going to leave Jamie here for half a second.
You are?
This is my block of wood. I'm going to go sand it down just a little bit on the edges here with the orbital sander out in the garage. And I won't make you listen to all of that noise from the sander, but just so you know what I'm doing. And then I'll come back. I'm going to use 80 grit sandpaper on it. Should just take me a minute.
All right. And I am just moving things over to the drying rack. We get this paper from the thrift store. They wrap our stuff in it, and I like to use it as like a liner for things. All right, let's see. Freezing every once in a while for a second and a little blurry. Is anybody else blurry? It might be your internet, or you might need to adjust your resolution. I'm going to just double check on my end and make sure that it's looking okay. Yep, it's looking fine to me. So if it's still blurry, then hop out and hop back in and also check your resolution. All right. If you have a candle holder that is metal and other materials, say ceramic, glass, do you paint them all at the same time? What paint is best? Yeah, so that candlestick I just did, the middle is like a plasticky resin and the rest is metal. And I just paint it all with DIY paint. DIY paint sticks to just about everything. So that's what we like to use. If I am really concerned about adhesion, because sometimes we deal with things that are super shiny, there's two things you can do. One, you can use salt wash like Zeb is using here, because salt wash has a bonding additive, and you just mix that in with your DIY paint and it's amazing. Or if you don't want texture, but you do want it to adhere really well, we did it a couple weeks ago in a video, and we used DIY Salvation Solution. Sorry, I'm going to paint and talk because I got a lot to paint here. DIY Salvation Solution in clear or white is an all-natural water-based primer. It doesn't stink. It's not hard to wash out of your brushes. Put a couple of coats on that on there if it's super shiny, or if it's like ceramic and shiny and you're worried about it. Let that dry, and then you'll really be able to get good adhesion. When we had the new IOD release, we did a video, and I had this bright red IKEA metal planter that was super shiny, and I was worried about adhesion. So I used that DIY solution in white, and then I painted over the top of it and wet distressed back, and it turned out so good, and the paint stuck really well. So I really didn't want a ton of that red coming through, so I had to be careful. So that says bad connection. Can you just make sure my mom's not on the internet?
Yep. Is it stopping?
It's just a bad connection. Let me just double check. Hold on, sorry guys. Keeps freezing. My phone is on Wi-Fi. Why is there no? Okay.
All right. Is it still going? You fixing it?
I'm trying.
I found the block. Jamie has kept it here. It's a little larger than the one I made, but I could easily make it this size if I wanted to. So this is the oak piece, and then this is the one I made. So just rounded the edges off the sides and just a block of wood. I don't know why it's so appealing. It just looks great. So I just went out with the sander, rounded these edges over. I'm going to hit this with some Dark and Decrepit, and then we'll go from there and see what we get. It's nice and heavy, though, so it gives some good weight to help that stand up. All right, Dark and Decrepit. Is that with the sealers, Jamie?
All right, so what?
I found it.
I had this, if you guys recall from our video on Saturday. It's not sold yet. It was $1.50. I'm going to paint this, but I'm going to include for the $24.95 price 3 vintage canning jars. These are just from my personal collection. I literally use these to can in all the time. In fact, I probably have beans in this because there's a little hint of brown here from the beans. So I'm going to ship these with this, and I do this a lot. If we find something that's like a vessel, something that can carry something and it needs something to be put in it, we always just include canning jars. We can pick these up anywhere from 25 to 75 cents at the thrift store. We have a ton of them because we use them all the time because we do a lot of home canning as well as I use them for leftovers. Can you fix the camera?
Oh, half hour. That went by.
But keep that in mind. I knew looking at this that 3 canning jars would perfectly fit. I'm going to set these over to the side.
There we go. And we're back.
Did I get them here there? But I don't love this. I feel like it's just kind of new looking. So we're gonna zhuzh it up here with a little paint. Is Salt Wash adding salt to your paint? No, Salt Wash has a bunch of stuff in it. It's not just salt. I actually don't know.
read you the ingredients.
Are there ingredients on there?
Yes. Contains a lot of stuff. It's a lead-free product, no VOCs, contains organic material, contains crystalline silica and apolgite.
I don't know what that is.
This is lead-free. Yeah, that's all it says, but yeah, it's
not salt.
It's not necessarily
It's called salt wash because it makes things look like they have that salt washed look from the ocean.
So it says for a layered sun and salt air soaked look.
There you go.
So like think driftwood.
Yeah, you can get like a chunky, chippy, old world type finish.
All right, really quickly. If you joined right at the beginning of the live stream, you saw me glue these together. It's just 4 pieces of scrap MDF wood that I cut down to be all the same size. Now they've been sitting here about 15, 20 minutes and they're very tightly glued together. It'll continue to cure and get even stronger, but it's strong enough that I can work with it right now. And I'm going to darken decrepit this. Then I'm going to do some more salt washing. And I'll show you the piece in just a sec that this is going to be for. Whoops. I think these are my paint pants.
All pants are paint pants.
It's true. If they're not paint pants, they will be soon.
Right. That is true. All right. I'm going to touch this up where I touched it.
You could probably get a similar look with like layered chocolate, like a brown paint on this, because this is just going to be an undercoat. But the dark and decrepit really soaks down in. So if it gets dinged or whatever, you have a dark look for quite a few layers down.
I am just taking out this picture of Jesus because I'm going to paint the frame. I think this one already sold. I try to find, if I find a good picture of Jesus that I don't like the frame, I just paint the frame. And we sell them a lot, but I do like to keep them in the store because our store used to be a church. So it's kind of fun.
All right, straightening out stuff. I guess I'll go ahead and do the bottom of this while I've got it, since this is an under layer. It won't matter if it gets messed up from setting it down wet.
This is like a plasticky resin looking frame. So when you paint them, they just look so much better.
Okay.
I had a problem with plastic. I painted a little Tykes rocker with the new vintage cottage colors that came off. I know kids are rough. Should I use Salvation Solution? Yes. So I have used cottage colors on plastic, but on that type of plastic, I would absolutely use Salvation Solution first on it, like a kid's type toy, then paint it. And you also need to let it cure for a while. Even all that to say, like, it's not technically made to paint stuff like that. So I would be cautious of it. I haven't tried it out. I haven't tried it out to know, but if I were doing it, I would use Salvation Solution. Oh, that's way cute.
Yeah, it's a little on the small side. I thought your block wasn't quite that large, but I like the sizing on it, and I'm going to drill in here.
Well, if that was like, that would be disproportionate if you made it the same size. I know this is really boring just watching me paint a lot of stuff gray, but once I get it all painted gray, then I'll come back and do the rest.
We'll do the finish work. Here,
Zab's doing way more exciting things than me.
I don't know. It's just different. But we're doing enough things together, I think.
Together, yes. It's exciting.
But I do want to put this brush here in some water because that cottage color is going to get it. And this
I love anything that has little bumpy, like, circle details on it. And this frame has that in the middle. I don't know why I love the bumpy circles. It's because it reminds me of like hobnail stuff. Hobnail. I always call it the wrong thing. And every time I call something the wrong thing, then everybody has to tell me the right way to say it, which is
All
fine,
right.
but I'm
I need
unlikely
you to
to
put
remember.
these on to protect your gorgeous eyes from the metal shavings that are about to happen.
Let me put this on the drying rack here.
Okay, so if you remember from Saturday, the thrift haul, or even like the thrifting video where we actually show you finding it, this had like this, they looked like slides at the park, like 8 of them coming down into like a metal square.
They look like curvy slides. They were
Those
just not
those are
good.
gone. Got rid of those. So I'm just going to drill a hole over here in the side in the tin so that my screw will go down right where I want it. Oh, and we still have a price tag on here. I have the piece outside. I'll go get it for you if you haven't seen it. That way you can see it. And these are just countersink holes. Or tapping, however you want to call it. Because there's not technically we're not countersinking it down below the wood or the metal. So I guess they wouldn't technically be a countersink. I was going to glue this on. I'm like, that just won't make it. That's such a long piece. We gotta do a mechanical fastener. All right, that might get loud. Hang on, I'm going to try to make it not too squeaky. All right, that was bad.
Sorry, guys.
I'm going to put my mic way over here.
Remove. Why don't you just go do that over there on the dining table?
We're showing.
Okay. Showing them stuff.
Show and tell.
Killing their ears. Sorry.
It's okay. I put my mic over there.
Yeah, we are located in Lehigh, Utah.
All right, that is not going anywhere with just 2 screws, and we're going to add a third.
Next level there, Zeb.
Although it's wanting to have a mind of its own. There we go.
Is it getting squirrely? I'm painting the underside of this, and then I'll flip it over later and paint the
Now
top.
this thing is weapon grade. It's like a mace.
Don't tell your kids that. I feel like your boys would use that in like battle.
But it has a good weight, so it's like hard to tip it over.
That's always nice. Always think about that when you're designing stuff, about the weight and like tip factor, because nothing's more annoying than decor that just keeps flopping over. Oh, okay. Thanks for fixing my hair. My hair is a little wild today. I have it in a braid, but going back and forth.
Disneyland hair in the rain and the wind was great.
I know. You always love my hair messy, which is good because that's... My skin, though, is so dry.
Off the wild moors from riding your horse.
Yeah, that's basically me. I don't know if it is like it's moisture, it's what's it called? Humid there.
Humidity.
But the water dried out my skin so bad.
Well, it's super dry here, and then I think what happened is we went there and it's really humid and our bodies just absorb that. And then now we're back here where it's cold and frozen and the frost is just sucking the moisture right out of the air.
Well, not that. Like while I was there, my skin was dry. I'm like, what the actual get up? This is still drying a little bit. I'll leave this alone. I'm almost ready for like second step. Look at how many things I've painted here.
You're doing so good.
Okay, so my debate is this is probably not the best brush for this. I could use a big brush, but I think I'm just going to use this one because I don't feel like getting another one dirty.
Really slather the salt wash along the bottom of this base.
We're going to use it to fill in.
Get rid of those screws.
Well, I don't know if you can do that. They did that at Disney. We saw they had like this, they used a riveted cast iron piece, like a plumbing piece, and they had put like mushy stuff over the top of the screws and the made in China spot. And came off. I was like, look, they do the same thing we do. Try to like hide stuff to try to make it look different.
It was just like a plumbing part you could get down at the hardware store.
We always
in Galaxy's Edge. We were waiting in line, and I'm always like, because those Imagineers that they've got over there, they do an excellent job of that.
Faux finishing.
Their faux finishes are next level. And so I'm always looking at them, and then if I can find a spot where everybody's touched it going around the corner in line, where it's worn down, I like to check the layers out.
Yeah, that's the kind of nerdy we are. We're at Disneyland, like, how did they faux finish this? I'm painting this. I'm going to wind up painting like every direction because I just literally don't know how somebody's going to wind up using it. So I want to make sure it's painted. They said, oh no, it was better green. No.
So some of that green will probably come back through because we're going to distress and the olivey green, and we're going to bring some copper back and some white wax and some dark wax, kind of the same finish as these lamps are going to get, and you'll get some of this green back. It'll be all right.
Somebody already bought it.
So the thing is, it's not a very good faux finish. It looks okay on camera from far away, but someone literally just took a brush and like
it's really streaky
with the copper, and it's doesn't make sense. There's like no rhyme or reason to where the copper's at. It's just like slapped on the side.
They didn't finish it either.
I'll show you.
Oh, Mike, you need your mic.
My mic's way over there. I've been just, story time today. All right, let me show you this up close. See if we can get the camera to focus. All right, so you see this streak? It's just someone just took a brush and they went, and same here. This is not the faux finishing that you want. Like you can see the brush stroke from the green, and then they went and like they were done. They were obviously done because then they came back over the top of that with some copper. It's just, we got to fix it.
Kay says that we're responsible for her having 2 booths in an antique mall. Thanks, love doing it. Great retirement hobby. I love that.
Okay, that's awesome. And also, like, how you get to go shopping and find stuff for your booth, and then you get to sell it and go buy more stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard when you've been out of town and you got to get back to work. But Zeb and I were like, sweet, we get to go thrifting today without children. Like, yeah.
I love all of our kids.
I do too. Aren't they so cute?
They're all amazing. 10 minutes at a time.
There was just a lot of togetherness. We all get along fairly well in our house, but we have a lot of space. And so when we share a very small space, it's just interesting.
Let's just say that we discovered that football season was hard on both Jack and Redrick's feet, and they got some kind of weird fungus that they hadn't told anybody about.
They don't have fungus. They stink.
I'm pretty sure Redrick's got something. Anyway, no one has been telling parents about this situation.
So we did find that out.
And when we were in the car, we got to smell said situation when they took their shoes off to relax. And now I've got to address that. So we will be looking into that this evening ASAP.
That's what happens when we all get together. We find out things. But yeah, it was fun. We drove there and back. So that's like 10 hours in the car. A little bit longer going because of the weather. There was so much wind that they closed down the freeway from Vegas to California. So we had to go a way that we've never been before and added about an hour and a half to our trip.
Yeah, it was shut down pretty much from Las Vegas to Baker, I think is where it was. I flung some on my pants. But anyway, we had to go around in the mountains in Nevada and over into California. And then we dropped back down on
Dory, your mother says they just like the color green. Does your mom like green? Is she like you? Is she a green lover?
My mom loves anything green. Trees. The woman plants a fruit tree or 20 everywhere she's ever lived.
She's lived a lot of places.
And then she lives there like 4 or 5 years and someone else gets all the fruit.
Hey, it's like Johnny Appleseed. You got to have trees. They might as well be giving you fruit. All right, I'm almost done. This is a lot to paint all those little cubbies. And then I'll let it dry, and then I'll paint this bottom side because, like I said, I don't know how somebody's going to use this. I can't find the super glue on Amazon. You know what? I tried to look for it and couldn't find it either. If I can find it, we will link it later. But yeah, people have been asking about that.
It might be something you have to get because I got it from my brother who was working at the mine down in Arizona.
So you might have told them they could get something they can't actually
No,
have.
you can find it on Amazon. I've picked it up there, but they might have. It's one of those things that might not be easy to get since COVID shortages kind of thing.
That might be why you can find it.
So you might have to go somewhere like, what's that supply
like
store
a hobby
that does
store.
all the cleaning supplies?
Well, also like a hobby store might have it.
Yeah, if I can find some, maybe we'll just get it because we use it so much. Like it's a crafter's best friend when you're trying to fix like broken pottery or small pieces or decor or get something affixed on a wreath. Like these guys here, I would use that on like a little broken crown. I'm actually going to break this guy's crown more to make it match.
I think you should just leave it.
I'm going to make it match.
Okay. It's going to make your eye twitch if you don't.
Yeah.
All right. This is going on the drying rack. And I will just touch up where my finger.
So to
has
whoever
messed up.
said that they should have left it green, I do not disagree with you. I actually really liked the green color that it was. It just
I didn't
needed
like
a better
it.
paint job.
I didn't like that shade of green. But, you know, just saying. Oh my gosh, I've painted a lot of stuff. Okay, so I need to paint. Oh, did you put my paintbrush in water? I need to paint the back of that white.
Yeah, you can still do that, but it was getting crusty.
Okay, so we have this piece that we picked up. I'm going to paint the backer, but this is the piece we picked up. It was just like this. It was $2. I'm going to need Zeb to remove the little brackets because he cut a piece of just scrap MDF.
Nope. Cut it to fit with the bracket.
Yeah. Oh, you cut it to fit with. Oh, it goes underneath it.
There's a spot that's if you flip it, but we might have to remove the brackets anyway.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be hang on the wall.
But you can still decoupage that, and I can fix that later.
Okay. Yeah.
I forgot about that. It blocks.
He was trying to be so smart, so he made it so that way it could go underneath this. And I'm like, yeah, but you need these to hang it with. So he's gonna take those off anyways. But I'm gonna paint this. But first, I'm gonna paint the backer because it needs to be white so I can decoupage it. So I gotta get my brush out of the water. I wasn't gonna put it in water because I wanted to use that to dry brush more, and it's really hard to dry brush when your brush is wet.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
You left it out too long. You should have baggied it.
It's all right.
Do you also want
How was
this?
the Disney thrift store? It was so lame. It wasn't even thrifted stuff, mostly just mass-produced stuff from over the seas. I knew it was going to be because I read the reviews, but Cooper really wanted to go, and we told him we'd take him, so we did.
We did find some pretty banging old school Star Wars stuff that they've altered.
That was not banging anymore.
It was just funny.
Dawn didn't like it either. Your mom says your dad was just digging new holes for more fruit trees.
Today?
Yeah. He is visiting Lowe's.
I think he lives there. Lowe's and Home Depot and Ace, whatever hardware store is
Does
closest.
he get his military discount, Mom? Make sure that man is saving his 10%.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has stock in Home Depot, Lowe's,
does.
and Harbor Freight.
He's got it set up online. He went and did that.
Oh, good. Okay. Paint something mustard yellow distressed. Actually, don't think we have anything this time.
We
have Queen Bee, but I don't think we have anything to paint.
Queen Bee look. I'll think on it and see if we've got anything that can. I think we have some Queen Bee that we could
We
use.
do, but I literally just painted the last thing unless you want me to paint that frame Queen Bee, and that's not going to work with the decoupage paper.
Oh, yeah.
We might have to.
Are we already painting the last things from last thrift haul?
Yeah,
Do we have anything that we need to finish, like finish up? I guess we have that stuff over there. We can show them.
That stuff is all finished. That stuff is all on the video that we did on the live video. Because we pre-recorded the live videos, so we had a lot of stuff painted. But we can show you the other stuff we did.
It was an hour and 19 or 18 minutes long.
In real life, it was a couple of hours, but I was like, well, we got to paint this stuff anyways.
Yeah, we cut it back down.
All right. I didn't do the cardinal rule of new brushes. When you have a new brush, you're supposed to go like this. And then any like loose bristles, you're supposed to pull them out. I didn't do that. So now I'm got like 2 bristles that are in my paint finish.
It's kind of like seasoning a stamp where you lightly sand the face of it so that all the mediums will adhere well to the stamp when you're getting ready to stamp it and load it up.
Now all the people know. That's how you do it. You rub it, and then it loosens anything that's going to be loose, and then you can pull them out. So they don't wind up in your paint finish, because it does happen with new brushes. Okay, this can dry. You always want to paint your piece white before you decoupage it. So I'm painted this white. Then we will decoupage on top of this, and then that cute frame will be on top of that. And then once all that's done, probably off camera, I will paint the edge of this to match the frame so it all kind of looks like one piece. Mom, yeah, you can go in here, Mom. It's fine. Go to Disney World next time. My daughter works at Hollywood Studios. Disney World is like the other side of the world. We have to fly there. We have thought about going.
It's not the other side of the world, but it is like a 6-hour flight from us.
We have thought about going to Disney World. It just has to be the right time, because I will never repeat it, never go there when it's humid. I don't do the South in humidity.
So basically you have a small window in December and January.
Yeah, because I just can't. I love all you people from the South, but I ain't coming to visit you if it's humid, because I'm claustrophobic, and it makes me slightly crazy.
All the tall trees and not being able to see, like we have like lots of trees here and mountains, but it's just wide open. Like you can, if you get up on top of our roof, you could see for like 20 miles in any direction.
Like it was, yes, it rained a lot when we were in California, but it wasn't like humid. I actually was glad it was a little cold, so that way it wasn't humid. And we just wore ponchos and bundled up. It was fine. It was a little annoying because you don't really get to enjoy the ambiance of outside when you're trying to not get soaking wet. But we were there every day pretty much from pretty close to opening. We're not those crazy people that have to get there the second it opens. I'm not going to do that.
I actually think you get on more stuff if you wait a minute and let those people get through.
Yeah. So we got there and we stayed almost to closing both days that we went, even though it was raining all day. We did, instead of eating in the park for lunch, it's not cheaper, but we did eat at downtown Disney.
I feel like you get a lot more food though.
You get a lot more food and they refill your drinks. And we went to downtown Disney so we could dry off and eat. We ate at there's a Mexican restaurant, Tortilla Joe's, and then there's
I think that's my favorite.
The Jazz restaurant.
The Jazz Kitchen.
The Jazz Kitchen. It's pretty good.
That was also good though, but Tortilla Joe's,
they give you chips and salsa. They do charge for them. You get free refill. So we always do that downtown Disney and dry off and fill up. I highly suggest it. Nothing's worse than it's really hard to get into any sit-down restaurants in the park. You have to book way in advance. And then if you try to eat outside, if it's raining, you've spent $30 on your food just for one person. And then it's getting all wet and you're miserable the whole time and your food spills. And it's just a stressful situation. So I would rather spend a little bit more money, go sit at a sit-down restaurant in downtown Disney, really get full, get my drink.
I mean, you can bring your own food. Disney never stops you.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's too hard to bring. I bring snacks, but you can't it's not like here in Lagoon where you can just wheel your lunch right into the park.
Jamie was reading all these crazy facts about Disney on the way home.
Yeah.
Like the evolution of all the rides and the park and things.
Yeah, they used to have the parking lot was right by Disney, so it was not an issue.
Well, then they put in
California Land,
2000 is when that opened, I think.
Oh, I have no clue.
Yeah, 2000 or 2000. I think actually 2001 is when that opened. But I remember as a kid, parking across the street from where you walk in.
I'm sure Debbie will tell the story, and she'll probably tell it better. But when she was a little girl, her mother was crazy about organic, all natural, super healthy food. And so they finally found out they were going to Disneyland. She was so excited because Disneyland has hamburgers and junk food and all this stuff. And they get to lunchtime and her mom whips out the cold, homemade bean and cheese burritos.
It's probably so good though.
She thought she was going to get the Disney food and she got bean and cheese burritos. So whenever my kids complain at all, I was like, my kids all have heard the story from Debbie, so they know it. And I'm like, did I bring the bean and cheese burritos? Because next time I can do that. Although my kids all like bean and cheese burritos. So they're always like, sure. But
there really was minimal complaining and crying. There were a couple tears. Actually, Jack's feet got wet on Splash Mountain and he was grumpy about that. But other than that.
How did the cheer thing go? We have talked about it a little bit, but
really
you're just tuning in. It went well. She had a routine with no deductions. They didn't place because their routine, I guess, wasn't hard enough, but they did amazing. They did perfect. They had no deductions. So they couldn't have done any better than they did. And it was super fun. We had these shirts that we made. Seb's brother and his wife met up with us and they had them as two, and they had Odelia's face on the back, and then the back they said cheer mom, cheer dad, cheer boyfriend, and everybody was stopping us. They're like, oh my gosh, those shirts are so cute. So that was fun.
And Cooper had a special one.
Yeah, the cheer boyfriend, and the picture is him and Odelia.
Him and Odelia on it, and he's in his football pads after a game, and she's in her cheer uniform giving him a big old hug.
Renee says, we stayed at the Hilton once, which is right by the convention center, and we walked. I've stayed at that Hilton too. Their rooms are really small.
We like the Hyatt.
We like the Hyatt. So the Hyatt that we use is the Hyatt Place. is right by the Disney parking garage. And so we will usually take the trams to the parking lot and then we just walk across the street to the Hyatt. This time we stayed at the Marriott, and it was the Marriott Residence Inn.
It was okay.
It was okay. It just wasn't like
it had a full kitchen in it with like a stove and a dishwasher and a
we
fridge.
were never there to cook in it, but it wasn't great. So I prefer, and with the same price as the Hyatt, I would stay at the Hyatt if I had to do it again. And we wound up splurging and parking in the parking lot and then just taking the tram in, which I'm so glad because I had a new pair of shoes. Again, you gotta, when you get a new brush, make sure you rub it so you don't lose bristles. Because I had new shoes and I have like this bruise on the top of my foot. It's not a blister, it's a bruise. So by the end of 2 days, my feet were just
okay. I'm going in. This is that nativity. Did the nativity sell, you said?
Yes, it did. The only reason is we didn't get soaked is because we wore our ponchos on Splash Mountain. Okay. You need me to open the apple juice for you, Mom?
Oh, that's what she needs.
There you go. You're welcome. I'm like, what is she
She's like
about?
flagging you down over there. She's like, I need the apple juice open.
All right. So do I need to second coat anything with weathered wood? I don't think I need to do this. So I'll leave the weathered wood out. Don't put this in water. It'll be okay if it sits here for a minute. Okay. Oh, I missed a big spot on this candlestick. And I need to paint the bottom. So I'll do that and then I'll get to the next step. Sorry, guys. I promise it's going to get interesting.
All right. Okay, I am painting the nativity. This is a porcelain baby Jesus. The rest of it is resin. This came from a different set that we found. I don't even know how long we've had this baby Jesus. It's just been waiting for me to find the rest of a nativity to go with it. And size-wise, it worked out pretty well. I was worried it would be too small with his little, what do you call this? His little basket. But it lifted him up good, and I feel like the sizing is just right. Like, oops, it looks like he and Mary are the right size. So that's what's important. And then this crown is broken. And instead of trying to go crazy and repair it, I could just paint it. You can see that this little tab here is broken off. I'm just going to make it match.
Zeb, when you're done with that, can you open the liquid patina so I can decoupage my basket? I'm just going to wipe off some of this weathered wood. I always wind up paint transferring when I don't clean the paint off my hands.
There, that's fine. I think that's good. And then once I salt wash that over, you won't notice it.
So pro tip, Renee, if you ever stay at that Hilton again, if you go across the street and to the right, that's the Disney parking garage, and you can just take the tram, the parking tram to the park, and it's faster to walk just to the parking tram than it is all the way to the entrance. Okay, so this is going to go on here. I stenciled this earlier. If you're just joining in, I used one of our French fruit label stencils. And I need you, can you open that for me, please?
Yep.
I said please, so look at that.
You did so good.
People comment, they're like, how can we not say please? I'm like, listen, sometimes I'm in a hurry.
We talk all day together. Like, that would be so many extra words. Like, I know what she needs. I'm just going to open that up. I know she needs. She's being nice about it.
Sometimes you don't say please either.
I know. Sometimes I just.
Oh, I thought we were doing Skeleton Key on this.
This is Skeleton Key.
Oh, did you ask salt wash to it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know we were salt washing the nativity.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out.
It's because this is so shiny. I'm just gonna salt wash a little bit, and then I'm gonna more brush it. Like, it's gonna go on thinner.
The trick is when you're doing something like this where you're decoupaging, you don't want to be cheap with the liquid patina. You want a lot of it on there.
Rex, are you okay?
No, he's
pacing.
He's pacing.
He probably wants to go back to the Outside.
I'm glad that you spell it because you think he speaks English.
He knows what it is. That's like one of the words. Dogs can know like 200 words, and that's one of the ones he knows.
That is true. It's not going to act like it's adhering that great when it's wet, but once it's all the way dry, it will suck down and suck into, especially this basket, whereas it doesn't have a finish on it. It will suck down into the basket. If you are worried about adhesion and it really sticking, you can use hot glue and put some beads of hot glue in the back. But if you put enough liquid patina on your fabric, it will decoupage to the basket. And I also will come back and like trim up any overly loose threads. I don't mind a little bit of a frayed edge, but if it gets to be a little bit too much for me, I can do that.
So the cool thing about painting these nativities, we've done it a lot. Sometimes people are like, oh, that was so beautiful. And then when we're done, they're like, oh, that's so beautiful.
Or they hate it, which is fine
yeah.
too.
It really brings a set that might not have been very cohesive together and unifies it.
Can you fix the camera? We've been on an hour.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so my basket is I just want to make sure it's well saturated. There's no dry spots on it. And because it's textured, it's a little bit difficult, but I think we're good. Okay, now my basket is just going to sit there and dry. Oh, I need to center it. And there we go. And it doesn't have to be perfect because these French baskets, if you ever find them in France, they're not perfect, but you want it to be like mostly centered.
Used beat up baskets that someone put their logo or their name on.
Yeah, it's not made for decor, but I like it that way. So I'm going to wipe off the excess. I'll let this sit over here. And then I do need to decoupage that angel onto that, but it's still drying. So I think what I'm going to do next is grab a cute little stencil for this basket. I dry brush this with Cottage Colors in white linen, and I'm just going to put a little stencil on the side, and then I'll just seal up just the stencil because the Cottage Color has a built-in sealer. The question is,
so some of these lamps, I'm watching them over here. They're starting to dry, the ones I did earlier. So I'm going to put a coat on these of this skeleton key on the nativity, and we'll get back to those lamps.
I was going to do a number on the basket, but now I'm debating if I want to do a number or something else.
I don't know. It's a hard decision. I keep flinging a little bit of salt wash off the end of my brush. All right. So Jamie and I were discussing all the things we need to do before we have like 9.5 days before we head back out. I guess 10 days before we head back out to California. And one of the things I really have to get working on is getting our paper release done. Among getting a paint release done, we also need to get some decoupage paper. Stencils have already been done this year, but we haven't done a spring release on papers. So keep an eye out for that, because that'll be hopefully coming soon. I don't know that I'll be able to get it done in the next 10 days because we have a lot of other things to do, but I'm going to do some significant work on that project and start showing you a few things. But we also have to tell retailers as well and let them know what's going on. We haven't hammered everything out quite yet. So
I'm going to put a sheep on it. So we have a Simple Living stencil that has a sheep in the middle, but we also sell a JRV stencil that has just the sheep. So you could do that too. I just think this is cute. I was going to do a number, but I changed my mind.
It's all right. You can do whatever you want.
Wouldn't have thought to repaint the nativity set. We have actually done it quite a bit. So what I'm going to do with the sheep, see how it's like a lot of negative space in the middle? I'm just going to stencil the outside, and then I'm going to get rid of the stencil and paint the inside. It's so much easier than trying to like stencil the inside when it doesn't really matter. You just need to get the shape on there.
Yeah, over the years, I'd say we probably repainted about 10 or 12 of these nativities.
My own personal nativities.
We just find various pieces at the thrift store, and it's rarely a set. Like, that's how it got to the thrift store. Something broke, right? And so we mix and match them and then paint them to match, and it's awesome.
So I'm just stenciling the outside of my sheep. And once I know that I've got a good outline, I'm going to pull it off. See? And then I'll just paint the inside.
This is going to be tricky. He's got his staff here, and then his robe is back behind, and it's like a solid piece, and I'm trying to get my brush back in there. This little tiny brush is working pretty well for it.
Yeah, it's got a cute little sheep on it. It's kind of subtle. I got a little gray paint where I didn't want it.
All right, I might have to really load up one of these brushes and just mush it in.
Okay, what do you think? Do you like the sheep on there?
Yeah.
Can you tell what it is?
Yep.
I mean, it could be a a sheep, a fat dog, whatever people want it to be. I'm going to let that dry. I like it. Okay, so this I'm going to be dry brushing, so I need to say this for that. I'm talking to you guys like you know what's in my brain. I'm going to grab a heat gun. I'll heat gun this angel.
I mean, we all kind of know. You've been getting expert
I've been
advice
talking
all
out
day
loud.
long.
Yeah, I've been talking to myself. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It does happen.
Okay. I'm hoping these other guys go a little easier. They should. There's a lot of detail on this nativity. Some of these wise men.
Why don't you just use a bigger brush?
Because I won't fit in there.
Oh, I just paint it all as much as you can and then just use just that brush for the detail.
I am just doing detail right now.
All right.
So I was going to get to painting other things, but it looks like we're just going to paint this for the next 3 hours.
It's fine. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff rotating over on this side, so it'll keep it interesting. So Kelly says, I'm Superwoman. I don't know how you do everything you do. Kids, animals, business, garden, and canning. I don't do it all the time. So like I haven't made bread in like 2 weeks because it is really hard when you're self-employed.
Also, she's been trying to perfect her sourdough, and she's a little frustrated with that.
I can make regular bread, no problem.
Sourdough has been eluding her for years now. It was very sour, though.
Which kind of brush is the flat top one showing on the table? Are you talking about this one or this one? I don't actually know the names of them yet. I haven't memorized them.
They're still on pre-order, and we should know the names, but we don't. Although we asked Debbie what they're called, and she's like, hang on, I got to look.
Here is the new to JRV link. And so if you click this, I think it's the second or third page, the paintbrushes are on there. Don't melt the angel. Yes, I will not melt the angel. It's like a really hard resin. So I'd have to microwave it for a while, or microwave it. I have to heat gun it for a while. Okay. Sure, I'm not missing any questions. Okay. Question is, can I dry brush this?
All right, this is a little thick. I'm gonna get some.
I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to dry brush the inside of this because it's kind of detailed. But I'm going to try. Do my best.
It's taken me so long, I had to add some water to my salt wash mixture with the DIY paint here.
That looks weird.
What looks weird? That looks weird?
I'm just going to keep going with it.
Oh, the face?
Yeah, because like down in here. So like normally I just dry brush the top, right? But this is like down into the piece. Oh, I got it. There we go. We're getting the angel. Sorry if I'm doing it backwards. I was getting really frustrated getting down into all the cracks, but I've got it figured out. It's a lot easier to do the outside of things, but dry brushing down the inside is hard. So I realized this was white before, but it was like cheap plastic white. It wasn't my favorite. So the reason why I did this is because all the detail pops down in all the cracks, and I'm just hitting the top part with the white paint. So now we've got a lot more detail, and it's going to look a little bit more like an old stone relic and less like a cheap plastic piece. And it does have a light in it. I have not tested that out. So maybe when I'm done dry brushing, I'll go borrow a battery from my mom. We can see if the light works. I don't think the angel's sold yet, so maybe now that it's painted, it'll sell. It's definitely better painted, this, don't you think, than that weird white?
Yeah.
It's coming along. Debbie was talking to us when we went to go visit her. She's like, I don't know how you paint stuff live and get so much done. I'm like, I think a lot of it comes from practice, because when we first started doing this, we didn't do that many things. We'd do like a couple of things and that was it. And then we'd finish them off camera. But I'm so used to painting thrift flips. It's like with anything, you just get used to it. It's like a creative muscle. The more you do, the easier it is to know what steps to do. And it's so I could talk while I'm painting.
I think you could talk while you're doing it.
I have the gift
I got like
of gab.
a whistle in my throat all of a sudden. You might need to go get a drink.
I'm just going to go from underside here. All right, I like that. Show it to you guys up close. Then we'll get a battery and see if this lights up. And then it still needs to be sealed, even though I used the cottage color. Just a little wax. Here's my angel. So you want to know what this looked like before. If you go to Jamie Ray Vintage, click Saturday Thrift Haul. It should be there, unless it's sold. If it's sold, then it moves to the bottom of the collection. Okay, let's go get a battery. What kind of battery does this take?
Okay, I'm gonna let
3
that dry.
AAAs. I don't ship with batteries, so just know if you get it, you're gonna have to get your own AAAs.
Yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax. You have to have like warnings and disclaimers about batteries and stuff. All right, let's do the baby Jesus next.
Hey, Mom, do you have 3 AAA batteries? Yes. Oh, my mom's listening to us, so if you hear my
mic with you
in the background.
I won't talk so that hopefully you guys can listen in on the conversation about the batteries.
Brand new ones. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I can hear her in there still going.
Well, if I put it in with my stuff, I'll lose it, and then I won't know where it's
Here
at, so I have to put it in your drawer. My mom is way more organized than me.
All right, so this is where the salt wash is really shining on this slick porcelain. I'm still pretty much getting 1 coat coverage. There's a couple shiny spots I might have to come back and get. But
sorry if Seb was talking and I was talking to my mom because I was in the other room.
I heard you, so I was like, I'm not going to talk while she's in there talking. So that you guys can be privy to the behind the scenes conversation. What's behind the curtain?
We do wash our stuff if it needs it, if it's greasy. Candles, sometimes we have to use heat guns.
Yeah, you want to get the wax off your candles because you paint it and then that wax will show right back through. You get like dark spots like it's wet still and it won't dry out.
Oh, there it is. I think I need to put where'd the, oh, there it is. Sorry, gotta put the back on. Ta-da, it lights up. I didn't advertise that it lights up, but just know it does now. If it ships and gets jostled around, it doesn't still light up. There you go. And you can kind of see where I missed the paint when it lights up too. Oh, well. It's shining through the angel in a few spots.
So I actually love painting the nativities. These ones are really good, high quality. But this was like porcelain and they tried to glaze it before they like the face on there and they didn't paint it afterwards. And it was kind of muddled and didn't look very good. And now like you can see the shape of the face and it's not super obscure and weird looking. Looks like a cute little baby now.
Like
whereas before it was like, what's going on?
That's still drying. I'm just trying to see what.
And I'll have to, I touched his hand, so I'll have to come back through and do a second coat on this one. If you want to see the difference between the 2 colors, I was using Farm Fresh earlier. This is what Farm Fresh looks like dry and not sealed. You can see the difference there. We're about to get to these lamps. They're almost dry, just sitting over here.
That's what happens when you have a lot of stuff out. Like you don't have to use a heat gun as much because it just air dries.
Oh, this guy's going to be fun. I think easier than that staff, though. The staff, like I couldn't.
Oh, this guy is going to be fun. I told you when you bought that nativity.
Thank you. Really ornate set with 3 wise men holding something that I got to paint behind.
You bought a few things today. I was like,
I have some fun projects for the thrift haul we got today. Yes, it is going to be a little more involved painting some of them, but I think I got some good ideas. At least I think they're good ideas.
I think your ideas are all great ideas. All right, that I feel like is cute, but I want to wet distress it, so I'll wait till it dries.
So I'm pretty sure this was meant to be an artist brush for canvas.
That is what Miss Dion designed that brush to do.
It is my tiny little detail, and we use it to add the patinas, like coppers and stuff on.
We are artists. We're junk artists, so it's fine. We just don't use canvases. We use thrifted items. If Dion can paint on dresses, we can paint on junk.
I probably could do some canvas art if I like actually sat down, because I did a bunch of it back in high school. I just am way out of practice and would have to like tap into my inner high school Zeb.
That definitely both needs to be distressed, but I like it. What base color did I use for the angel? I used old school. So all of my stuff that is dark was painted in old school. And I'm just going to heat gun this one side so I can paint the back of this one. This is that cubby that I'm like, I have no idea what the end user is going to use it for. So I'm painting
all the sides.
All the sides. Yeah, it's old school. And I thought that I wouldn't have enough, but I still actually am going to have paint left over even after, because I only had that much paint in the bottom of my quart, but old school covers really good. Doesn't take lots of coats. Although this old school, we must have mixed a patina or something with it, but because it smells ripe. This is all natural paint. And just so you know, when it dries, it doesn't smell. So if you ever have your paint like, oh, it smells, don't worry, just paint with it. It'll dry, it'll be fine. Just be careful. Like, we always dip directly into our paint, and you shouldn't do that because you can contaminate stuff. And yeah, so it is what it is. But pro tip, did you record the thrift haul on this morning? Yes. So we went thrifting this morning. That video will be up tomorrow. We actually went to 2 thrift stores because we wanted more small items.
I got in a little bit of trouble.
If you purchase brushes, we're hoping they're shipping by the end of March, but they probably will wind up shipping sooner. We're just saying the end of March because they're in port, and then they're going to come to us. And then as soon as they come to us, our shipping team will get them out. Shipping brushes, luckily, is not super involved. And we've had a lot of people did the pre-order back in the day, and we split ship some stuff. So most of the orders are just brushes going out. So we will get those out as quickly as possible. The only reason we have brushes right now is because we went to California and Debbie had some prototype brushes that they had sent her with the new images on all the handles. And so since we went and visited her, we got a set of brushes from her. Old school is the one gray I have yet to try. So it has kind of
the best gray.
I like weathered wood.
My favorite.
don't be dissing on the other grays. We like it because it's a blue undertone. So skeleton key and old school are a very good combination, but I use it in the same way that I would use weathered wood.
I think I described it in that video that we did with Debbie. Like, I would wear it, like it would be the only color I would wear if I could have skeleton key clothing, because I love it that much. Like, I like blues, I like grays. It's like a really great blue gray together. Done. My favorite color is actually green, as far as like.
But to wear it, you only really like army green.
But I don't wear green. I don't wear green.
You wear army green.
Yes, I do wear army green. The hat I got in California, my hat blew off in the storm that we were out unloading at the hotel, and it blew over like the spiked top fence. We were in Vegas, the parking lot, and it blew over and like off down the street. I'm like, well, I'm never seeing that again. So I got another hat once we got into California.
Oh, that's funny. I rolled this over so I wouldn't get the basket dirty, and now I'm painting on the rolled over part. So this I'm just going to do like white wax on, I think. You have your mic, Deb, you have your mic on. You want to put on your hat?
Why is it?
I don't know.
Is it crackling? It's on. Maybe make sure I didn't mute it. Let me look and see. No, not muted. It's coming. If you guys are wanting to support this channel or get any of these paint products, we sell them at JamieRayVintage.com. I haven't dropped the link in a bit. Usually we have Caitlin on here, but she is not here. So I'm going to drop the link to the DIY paint. But there's a lot of different things. Where's the paint? We have thousands of products on the website. So if you ever can't find anything, hit that search bar up. I
want to just give me to the whole collection. Oh, well, I'll just drop the DIY paint link. There you go.
And 90% of like our craft supply products are on the website too.
Yes. And if you want the thrift haul, you just click Saturday thrift haul. That is not what I wanted to do. I never put a space in between the.
Why don't you put a space?
I try. Oh my gosh, I'm stinking at this job. Caitlin is much better dropping links. Cooper sounds so nice. Cooper is a nice kid. I thought somebody said Copper. That only took me 8 times to drop that link. I dropped the link to the paint. Did it actually? Does it? Okay, the link's working. It worked before. Oh well. That's why some things I can't do and paint and talk. I'm just trying to dry this off so I can white wax this one. Who lets moving? I bet you're upset. Are you talking about Harrington moving? Harrington's just moving to Orem.
So he's moving about 15 minutes down the road.
I'm not upset.
If traffic's not great.
I'm not upset because we only see him on Sundays anyways because he's super busy.
And he works a lot, or he's up the mountain snowboarding a lot.
He's not going to be that far away. We'll still see him, and I'm going to get to redecorate his cottage and turn it into an Airbnb. So I'm super excited. Oh, who is moving?
Who is moving?
Oh, my in-store employee, Larissa. She's moving to be closer to family, so I'm not upset. I'm glad she's getting to be close to family. Sorry, I didn't understand what the comment was. Yes, Larissa is moving. So after we're done today, we have to look at resumes.
We were hiring. We hired 2 people. Neither one worked out. Maria ended up covering, and Ivy and Caitlin handled all the things while we were gone. A little short-handed this week and last week while we were gone, but it was fine. It ended up working out great. And now we've got to get back and looking at applications again.
What does DIY stand for? Do it yourself. So DIY, Debbie's Design Diary DIY Paint
is the full name.
Do it yourself. Yeah, it's a mouthful. So we just call it DIY Paint.
It's a lot of syllables. Okay.
Did you meet Larissa? Yeah, she had curly blonde hair, Debbie Rose. I'm sure you did.
All right.
Okay, Kim, if you need paint shipped to you and you live in Northern Maine, there's a couple things you can do. Email info@jamierayvintage.com and let Caitlin know you're putting an order in. She will walk you through. She will make sure that there's a heat pack in there. And then also she will make sure to check the tracking. So as soon as it comes in, because the heat pack only lasts for a few days, we should
48 hours, I think, is or
priority
72
hours, yeah. And that will keep it warm, but you can't leave it out on your porch for multiple days. The nice thing about DIY paint, though, if it does freeze, you just let it thaw and you can paint with it. But the patinas, any of the sealers, if you order milk paint,
separate the waxes.
Yeah, but just the DIY paint itself, it's fine. Even though technically it says
the waxes, you just
stir it up.
Stir it up, bring it back to room temperature. You're fine.
But we can put a heat pack in your paint, so that way it will not freeze. But just make sure that as soon as it gets to you, that you pull it in. It's kind of like when you're shipping chickens.
Actually, I don't think they put heat packs in with the chickens.
They're not put heat. Oh, maybe they don't.
They're just in there together, all huddled up.
You're welcome, Kim. If you have a problem or you forget the email, you can also message us on Facebook, but emailing info@jamierayvintage.com is the best way. I was hoping I had a dry, damp towel to wipe this back. I don't really want to use this
No, don't use that. Just go hunt one down. I'm sure there's a bunch.
Oh, I have a piece of drop cloth here. I cut that drop cloth for that basket, and I have the leftover piece here. So I'm just going to wipe this white wax back that was over the old school. Some of the gold from the original paint finish will come through, and that's fine. I think it's going to look a lot better for my Jesus picture here. You want to not leave your white wax on overnight. You want to wipe it back pretty quickly. This will also seal it. I say this because a lot of people think it's like clear wax where you don't buff it right away, but it's not. Just know if you do something like this, it will pull off some of that base color because it was pretty slick and we did not let it dry for a long period of time. And I only did one coat. So I am getting some of that gray on my rag, which is fine.
Keep like finding places I missed in the folds of this robe.
Remember, you are going to be waxing it, so.
Yeah, but it still needs painted. Like it's a dark blue underneath. Which is going to be cool if it pops through.
I do have some wax on the back of this, so I'll either repaint it or just wipe it off really good before I ship it. Okay, there is my white wax in old school frame with a little bit of distress. And then I'm not really going to get it in all the way, but I'll show you. The reason why I picked this color combo is because my picture of Jesus here has the similar colors in the background. So you can kind of see how those go together. Ta-da! All right, I'm going to let that sit, cure up, and I'll put Jesus back in, and I'll probably wipe it a little bit more too, but for now we're good. I've got white wax all over me.
I was thinking about Harrington moving. That's being sad about it. We're actually super excited about him moving because he's moving so he can be closer to the university because he's taking classes in the fall. And he started looking for a place because it's hard to find a place, especially once fall actually rolls around. But he found a spot pretty close already, so it'll be hopefully pretty good for him. And it's closer to his work too. So he'll have less driving all the way around. And we're glad he's going back to school.
Yeah, this is going to take a while. I'm going to move on to another project. You guys are probably not super enthralled. You're like, you've seen the dry brush, you've seen the white wax, so you'll just have to imagine on these three back pieces. I'll get to doing something else. Okay, next up, we have our window project. I've got to decoupage this, but it's still a little... Thanks, they like my frame. I'm going to just dry the cottage color on here, and then I'm going to decoupage my angel on here.
All right, wise man number 2. I think I did Joseph, Mary. We got 2 left to do. All right.
How are you holding up, Zeb?
I'm holding up great.
We've been on here less than an hour and a half. I know because you've only adjusted it twice.
It's probably about time for its second adjustment, though. It was about noon when we went on.
Every half an hour, we have like a actual camera that we film on, and the memory card stops, and then we got to fix the camera. Be careful if you're heat gunning. You can make your paint bubble, especially the cottage color. I say that as I'm picking something out of my paint finish.
Sorry, we got a lot going on. And we often call ourselves, and people have also called us that, paint slappers. It's because we distress everything and we use flat paints. And we want the brush strokes going all crazy. Can we paint very neat and clean? Yes, we can.
I cannot.
She's actually pretty good at it. Don't let her lie to you. It just stresses her out.
I won't. Let's put it that way.
But with the finishes that we do in the patina and kind of like the old world look that we almost always go for, it's pretty easy. Just get the color on there and then start doing your finish waxes. And that's where you bring in all the detail work.
I'm going to use the We Praise Thee paper. It's one of my favorites. Actually, not one of the most popular, surprisingly enough, but I love it.
It's pretty selective.
It's got 2 angels on it, and it's got some fun, bright colors. I have it in our bathroom, actually.
It's kind of Christmas themed, but
it's
also
very
we use
gothic
it all
looking.
year round in our bathroom.
I just don't want to, I don't want this to be like right where her face is. But the thing is, you cut this weird. So
Just put it on regular.
No, where's the, I have to think about this, because if I don't do this right, I'm going to mark it here. And I'm going to cut the outside. Because I don't want her face to be cut off. That would be weird.
This guy was actually quite a bit easier to paint in the cracks. I can get the brush in here pretty good.
I think I got it. Because the way you did that, like how it's shorter than this, I can't just do like the full. Okay, now we've been on here an hour and a half.
Oh, I'll go fix the camera. These long lives are fun. So you guys get to see a lot of projects come full circle.
So I've already painted the back of that. This is going to be ready for decoupage. And just want to make sure that when I decoupage this, that her head is not cut off.
I'm still here. I got one more after this. This guy's going pretty quick, this one here.
Still painting. Luckily,
if we need a second coat places, I'm not going to really sweat the inside.
Zeb, I did a 14-piece nativity. The camels were 14 inches tall, full color paint job, and antique the whole set. Sold it for $450. That is a lot of work.
Nice.
Full color. That's
impressive.
That's about right for that, because that's a lot of work. Okay, so this is the board that's going on. I'm just going to double check that her head is in the right spot. Yes. Okay. On decoupage paper like this, placement is important. So I've got my liquid patina, the best decoupage medium in the world. Well, the best I've ever used. You can decoupage with like Big Top or like a top coat or whatever, but I prefer the liquid patina because it has a longer open time and it just really lays everything down really well. Okay, you can also iron it on if you want it to be nice and smooth. It's called the iron-on method. I don't care if it's perfect because I'm actually going to distress this. So imperfections are welcomed. Wrinkles are wanted. I'm going to make sure I use lots. And some of the wrinkles will smooth out like as it dries.
Yeah, it sucks it back down.
Sucks it back down. Why is my... Oh, my... didn't.
Is your phone dying?
Yeah. Can't wait to see what you were doing this year outside the church. So we are going to...
Lots of fun things outside.
The first and foremost, it's going to be a lot of stuff that really won't make that big of a difference to you, but will to us. We are redoing the irrigation to be more eco-friendly, but also to just be more Jamie and Zeb friendly, because we spent about an hour every day watering last year.
So it had sprinklers. They didn't always have great coverage. I spent probably 2 hours a week fixing them because it's an old system with like old, I don't want to say lead pipes, but they're like galvanized metal pipes. And that's just, we do PVC now in most places for irrigation here in the US. And even like flexible line, and it's so great and easy to work with.
Well, and just the sheer, like, we can water on a timer, as it is when we go out of town.
It's not automated, so we had to go out there, and even though it's on a sprinkler system, and like get all the spots it missed, and water the flowers because it missed those like 100%. There was nothing where we put the flowers. Yeah,
that's going to be interesting because you're going to have to go up and underneath the cement.
It'll be
but
fine.
What I was going to say is that we have kids, we have animals, we have a business, we have a milking cow. It'd be so nice to not have to be like, and we need your help watering.
Well, when we go out of town, yep.
And this year we just have a lot of trips lined up. Oh, I missed some spots.
Bishop took care of the animals for us while we were gone, and he did an amazing job. And he's like, he actually sent me a message this morning. He's like, thanks for letting us milk your cow. My kids came over and helped me, and we got real close with Buttercup. She's so sweet.
We're glad you like her because we're going out of town in a couple weeks. We actually have a list of people that have said they would help milk her, but if you can get the same kind of backup person, it's nice because then they
Well,
get to
he
know
took
them.
Brent Sanderson with him every time, I think, or a lot of the time. So Brent also knows how to milk the cow.
Okay, I just missed a few spots on this, so I want to touch that up. This is what the angel is going underneath.
I mean, it's just milking a cow, right? But I have machines that I use to make it quicker and easier. And
do we have any cast iron feet? Nope. Not that I know of.
For
I don't know.
No, that would be awesome, though.
No, just cast iron feet for anything.
Oh, no. I forgot we were leaving again. I'll be like, hey, so do you want to milk the cow again?
So funny story. If he doesn't want to do it, we'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
I didn't know when we got a milking cow that we'd have so many people offer to milk her. But a lot of people love the milk. My kids, surprisingly enough, were like missing the milk, the eggs. When you go stay at the hotel and they give you the free warm breakfast, it's nice, right? Like it's better than continental. But my kids are like, these aren't eggs. This isn't milk.
They were eggs. They were just probably made from powdered eggs.
Yeah, not what they're used to by any
Not
means.
organic, like farm fresh eggs.
And we're out of milk that we can drink because we were gone, and we gave obviously all of our milk to the people that milked Buttercup. And so this morning Zeb made the boys eggs because we didn't have milk for like cereal or anything. And I asked him, I said, did the boys like those eggs? He's like, that is the first thing Redrick said was, oh my gosh, these eggs are delicious.
He's like, now these are eggs.
This is how eggs are supposed to taste.
I'm like, don't be whiny.
Kim says, I just got back from a junk store trying to find finds like you. Did you find anything good? What did you find at the junk store? Okay.
All right.
Hi. How are you doing over there, Zeb?
I have one more to do. I'm pretty much done.
So I painted this old school, and I just can't decide if I want to just paint farm fresh over the top and distress back to the old school. What do I want to do with this?
I think the farm fresh over the top of that would look really good. Or you could do skeleton key because that color combo, it makes the gray look blue, like a dark navy blue when you do it.
And do I want to stencil the front? Do you have a skeleton key brush?
I have a couple, but I'm using them.
All right, I think I'm done with the decoupage, so I can wash this one out and then use it for farm fresh. And then wet distress back to it. Just trying to decide if I want to do that or if I just want to like do something cute here. Hold, please. Let me see what
I need to start measuring Buttercup's tummy same time in the day before I feed her so that I can be like, okay, so she's late, but is she actually pregnant? And like measure how big she's getting. Because Jamie was like, I do not want a calf in like January, December, or February, like after November. So she's missed 2 now. So I think she's like month and a half pregnant, 2 months pregnant. So we're crossing our fingers on that, but it's hard to tell. Like cows can be intermittent just like people can.
She might not be regular. I think I'm just going to put this on here on the top. I mean, somebody could obviously lay it down like that. I'm going to stencil this across here. And then, because I plan to display it with things inside of it. I thought that would be cute. Oh, I missed a few spots. I'm not going to do the farm fresh idea. I'm just going to stencil it.
I could have a vet come out and like confirm it for me, but that costs a couple $100, and you can't just have like anyone come out. Like they have to be certified to legally do it. It's like a weird thing. I don't know what's going on. Like my AI tech's like, yeah, I can't tell you if she's pregnant or not. That's like not something I'm allowed to do. Like what? And she's like, yeah, state regulates that.
She would know. What color are you doing the nativity set? So that's skeleton key. I'm going to use the cottage color and white linen, and I'm going to use the transfer wear border stencil set. I'm just going to stencil the front of this. Hi. Oh, Beth says she's stocked for the spring release, and I wanted plus other items. I'm so ready to get Project Frenzy. It's so fun to just get a bunch of projects done. I like to group things together based off of how I'm going to paint them, and I feel like that makes it easier. Okay, so I'm just going to use white linen on here. The last time I stenciled was I clearly did not wash my stencil. It's got crinoline on it. Sorry, I know.
What?
Don't tell Les Myers. She's always like, you need to wash your stencils. I don't need to. I didn't. These stencils are pretty sturdy, and you can just soak them in water. If you use cottage color, though, you probably would want to wash it because it's built-in sealer. But like the DIY paint comes right off because it's water soluble. Oh no, the Desert Industries in Houston was no bueno today. Maybe they're not getting, so the thing is, when Desert Industries first open up, that's where we thrift a lot. They will make sure they are packed with good stuff. They ship them in from other stores, right, to make sure they're packed. But if your local people aren't donating enough good stuff, then it does make it hard to keep it stocked. Here in Utah, it's the Desert Industries is the thrift store for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. A vast majority of the population here goes to that church. And so the donations are plentiful because the money goes to help train people.
Like job rehabilitation. They actually donate a lot of goods to
humanitarian aids
families
and stuff like that. So people do it because it's not because they just want to get rid of stuff, but they do because it's like a good place to donate to. Anyways, so we get a ton of good donations. But I think when you get outside of Utah or Arizona where there's less members of the church, maybe the donations aren't as plentiful. So hopefully your Houston DI gets some good donations soon. Carol says, interestingly, I'm not sure if I pre-ordered the brushes or not. If you're not sure, Carol, email info@jamierayvintage.com. Give Caitlin the name that the order would have been under, and Caitlin can search that for you. So if you didn't pre-order these new DIY paintbrushes, she can let you know, and then we can get them ordered if you haven't.
We still have a few left on our pre-order that we can still put on for pre-order for you. We can put them on hold.
Leslie says, hello. Hello,
hey,
Leslie. Are you just tuning in? Caitlin sent out a text this morning, but maybe it didn't get to everybody. It was our random. We're back.
She could have been busy.
She could have, I guess. I mean, I guess Leslie could. This is true.
She does a lot of things with her grandchildren.
She does. She's such a good grandma. All right, so I've got my border on here. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll lightly distress it, and I'll probably wax this or seal it up later when we're not live anymore. But my thought was to stage it up. It's not gonna be sold with jars, but I need to stage it up with jars. I'm just not sure what size jars will fit. Oh, the quart size fits. So you could totally put this like with 3 quart jars and then put flowers in it. So that's how I'm gonna stage it up for the picture. I'm not going to include the jars with that one, but the jars are going to come with the other one.
I'm running out of, I'm going to have to make just a little bit of salt wash.
Leslie was out. Were you doing something fun, Leslie? Hope so. Okay, I'm going to wet distress this to just bring out some of the detail, and then these candlesticks will be done. I can check that off my list. I'm almost done with all my projects then.
I know, you're cruising through. Mine are still drying.
I gave you the complicated ones.
It's okay. They were my own projects, except for your lamps, but.
That is true.
But this is turning out pretty cool. Like now that it's all painted and cured out and starting to dry up, you can see on the bottom.
That's going to take a while. We probably won't get that finished. I really gooped it on there
thick. We can heat gun it and do some work, I think. It's getting there.
What are we at? 153. Okay. This is the Paintapalooza, so if you're watching the replay, it's going to be long. Just put some, get a project going. I'm just wet distressing to bring back some of the detail where I white dry brushed it, and it's going through the paint a little bit and bringing back some of the original color, but also going back to that weathered wood.
Where did you get off with the skeleton key?
I did not move it. It's to the far right over to next to you.
Oh, you didn't use it at all. I moved it.
I changed my mind.
I moved it.
What? Zeb is notorious. It's a good thing he's cute for moving stuff and then saying, like, being like, well, you must have moved it because I know I didn't move it. I couldn't possibly have been the one to move it. And I always love it when. In
my mind, I'm like, well, she's using skeleton key. And then I didn't hear that she changed her mind. So I was like, you moved it. You touched that.
I touched that. I had intent to touch. All right, so I'll bring this up close so you guys can see it. It still needs to be clear waxed. Probably not something I'm going to do on the live video because not really that exciting. But here is my candlestick. It's just blurry. I'm trying to get it. There we go. Got some great patina, and then where I just wet distressed it, brought out some of the original color. Sorry, it's sometimes hard to get it to focus when there's faces. Thank you, Kelly said the angel turned out beautiful. Do you guys want to see? If you're just tuning in, this is that angel from Saturday Swift Haul that was like that weird white resin plasticky. And I just did a two-tone on it. Lots of detail. Whenever I find lots of detail, I know that the dry brush is going to be good. Did I really catch a live video? Yes, Jane Brown, we are live.
Jane, you caught a live one.
We're painting the thrift haul. Can you see me? That's what I want to know. How are you doing with your vision, Jane? I've been having those surgeries and things have been going better. Distressed Darlin says, I've been here the whole time. I'm just making dinner and doing house stuff while you guys are live. That's good. Zeb, what are we going to eat for dinner? We got to make actual dinner tonight because the kids are...
The kids are like all restauranted out and fast fooded out. We eat pretty good. Like Jamie's a really good cook.
Zeb's
and we
really
eat a lot of we make a lot of our meals these days because when you have special dietary needs, it's way easier to just cook for yourself than to worry about, do you have this, this, and this, and I can't have that. And then you're like, oh, there's only one menu item that I can now eat, and I don't want that.
Well, it's way better quality, too, when you can cook it yourself. All right, I'm going to flip this upside down so it can dry. Wet distress this candlestick.
The kids have gotten used to that because they eat what we eat.
Yeah, the kids eat pretty well. It's funny because we eat, I mean, everybody just eats what they like, right? So every family eats a little differently. And we took Cooper to all different new places.
He's like, I've never been to Jack in the Box.
Yeah, we also took him, we went to Newport Beach and we ate at this kind of fancy restaurant close to the beach. He ordered a burger and it had blue cheese on it and it had a lot of blue cheese. We took him to Thrifty's and got ice cream.
Patty.
Interestingly enough, when we went to the Jazz Kitchen, we all, except for Odelia, ordered a burger. We were all just filling a burger. So I feel like that's good. All right. Where do you find the kamut flour? We buy it from the Food Nanny. This must have had like wax on it or something. Because it's like coming through when I heat gun it. Luckily, I'm going to wax it, so it'll be fine. Leslie says, one eye will never get better. It happens so fast. Need to accept it. That is hard. I'm sorry, Jane. But she does have one more surgery. Distressed Ireland is making pineapple barbecue chicken in the crock pot. And there's a tornado warning in Columbus, Ohio. There was a tornado in Oklahoma. And Dion has a bunch of her contributors to her magazine out there in Oklahoma. And they were like hunkered down on the first floor of their hotel room. I saw Karen Berg posted that. I was like, wow, that's scary. Glad that they're all together. So I'm just using the white to dry brush this and bring out all the detail. And then I can wet distress it later.
Okay. I got my nativity painted. There's a couple little touch-up spots where I've been handling it to move it around. But it's actually starting to dry up pretty good.
How are your candlesticks going? Are they, or your
I'm gonna heat gun
lamps?
this. The lamps are almost ready for
the white dry brush.
Work. Yeah.
Okay.
Like you could dry brush them now. I'm gonna use that heat gun and see if I can get this big finial situation dry. Someone said it would be a great coupe topper, and I could not agree more. I think that would be awesome.
Even though nobody's ever going to see the bottom, I'm just going to dry brush it to match. What color is the big finial? It is Farm Fresh Delissa with salt wash.
Which the salt wash doesn't change the color, it just adds texture.
Yeah. We haven't used Farm Fresh in a while. We get accused of using Farm Fresh and Apothecary a lot. And what happens is we just open up a quart of paint, and until that quart of paint is gone, everything gets that color. So we've been probably seeing a lot of old school and skeleton key because those are the paints I've had. And when you're painting little items like this, a little bit goes a long way. Okay. So my tray has been dry brushed. I think I am going to wet distress it a little bit, but I'll wait till this dry brush dries a little bit more. I want it to be a little bit more solid in the middle. So I'm going to keep layering on the dry brush. If you dry brush and you're like, you know what, that's too much of the white or whatever, you can always come back and dry brush again with the base color, and I do that all the time.
All right, so do you think we should distress, or should I just wax this and see what distresses off with the wax since it's so fresh?
I would let that dry on the bottom more.
Well, yeah, the bottom needs a little bit more dry time.
Do you want to pass me
I
the
heated it up.
candlesticks and I will dry brush them?
Yes.
So this is going to go over here for a minute.
These are not candlesticks, though. You keep calling them candlesticks. I don't have any candlesticks.
The candlestick lamps. So I should have probably. What's this coming out? There we go.
All right.
Heather's just putting chicken into her Instant Pot. And Karen says, I saw your video with Debbie and the rolling pin. How can you seal erasable ink? So we actually repainted it and used permanent ink.
Don't use the erasable ink. It did not end well. We wiped it off, repainted it, and re-rolled it. So that's made to be water soluble. So if you're using any kind of liquid sealer or anything, even wax would probably pull it off. So if we get to California and she hasn't sealed them, we'll finish them up while we're there so we can get them listed on our website. Because Debbie has a hard time finishing the little random projects. We dropped in. She wasn't expecting us that day. She was in the middle of a bunch of other things. So like that might have just got set to the side after we left.
Well, it's also like for us, people ask like, how do you guys get everything done? We have a system in place. Like we are used to doing it so much. So like we have our thrift haul every Saturday, Monday or Tuesday. We usually will go live and get everything painted. Sometimes we'll paint stuff in our channel membership. And then like when we go thrifting every Monday, and every Monday I get everything photographed and over to Ivy, who gets everything put on the website. That way she will put it on the website, but then I come back to price it and name it all. So it's like a process, and we've been doing it so much that we have it down pat. And I feel like it just takes getting used to that process and figuring out what works for your schedule. And then once you get it down, it's good. We have to aside from selling things online, we have to put new products in our shop because things sell in the shop. So it's just, when we put it online, then it also is ready to go in the shop. So anything that doesn't sell, the gals in the shop, all they have to do is just print out a tag because it's priced, it's in the system and ready to go when they get it.
Do you want me to get you some copper for that?
So do you want to do copper or gold? What are you thinking?
I think actually some golden rule would be really cool on that with some dark wax.
That's what I think too. So we'll have to clear wax it first. So I'm just dry brushing white linen on here. Then we'll clear wax it. Then we'll dark wax it. And then we'll just hit the high spots with some gold. And it's going to be good. If you don't like things super crazy with all the waxes, you can just stop here and seal it. And it would totally be pretty. I have done lamps like this before, much larger. They actually sold before I could even list them because it wasn't like a thrift haul item. I sold it to a local friend. So I'm excited to get these into the shop because we had a pair of lamps in the shop that just sold, I think last week or the week before. We have this cute buffet table. So I like to keep a pair of lamps on them. And anytime I can find a pair of lamps, I'm a happy girl. We found a really cool cast iron pair of lamps today. I'm excited about.
I missed a lot on Mary here.
Mary got left out for the party.
No, she got painted, but I missed like a bunch of details down in from here.
Yeah, this brush is actually pretty good for dry brushing just the texture. So
How do you like it?
I do like it. I like it a lot.
Is it light on your wrist?
Yeah.
You just kind of hold it.
Easy breezy, lemon squeezy. I don't know. I just made that up.
Is that an indication we've been live?
I've been live a while, and
you're out of things to say?
Yes, I am definitely running out of things to say, but I'll read comments here in a minute.
What about just doing a dry brush on the nativity like that instead of waxing them? And
that might be
then,
easier.
yeah,
And then you could actually get your spray gun out and spray sealer on them, and it might be a little bit easier.
I was coming over here for something. Now I don't remember what I was getting.
I'm just trying to make sure they're like kind of match. I don't have to be identical.
You don't want them too matchy,
Not
but you
too
want them to look like
matchy,
they go together.
but not too like eye twisty.
Oh, I was getting waxes.
You could probably use this big round brush. That's what I would do. And then dry brush and get most of the paint off, because this is going to be difficult to dry brush those because they have so much detail. But this brush here will be better for that. So you can do it with that one.
Oh, I wasn't.
What type of shade will you use? So I actually will sell it without the shade, just as is. We do that a lot. I can check. I might put a shade on this one only because I have a whole bag of shades. I just don't think I have a pair. And I ship them like that all the time because most of the time people can find lampshades and order them, but they want like the unique lamps that we do. And then we don't have to charge quite so much for shipping, because shipping a lampshade takes up a lot of space.
All right, nativity up here.
Definitely the clear and dark wax is going to make these look more authentically old. You did a good job with the salt wash on these.
Yeah, I've been really liking the salt wash look when it's brushed thick, almost like a stucco look.
Like
and
plaster?
Then coming, yeah, and then coming through and, you know, distressing from there and adding the detail. It just picks up all the brush strokes really well. All right, we're starting to actually get dry here on the bottom. I've been heating up the outside, letting it sit and cool off, because the outside is like the heat will transfer through. And I do have kind of some lumpy cracks down here on the bottom, but that's okay. All right, do you have clear wax out? Where's your wax brush that you like to use?
Where? Because this was wet for a minute, it's like separating.
Do you not have your wax brush, the PS brush?
The wax? No.
Okay.
Nope. Did you want me to dry brush that finial thing, or are you waxing it?
I'm gonna wax it.
Okay. Your eyes got really big when you said that. You're like, I'm gonna wax it. I want that to be a little bit more.
But I don't know where that brush went.
What? I don't know either. You have to look. Do you want me to search for you?
I thought I saw it here today. We're very close to me accusing you of moving it.
You're gonna accuse me? Do you want me to look for it?
Yeah, I decided to see it over there in the pile of brushes. It doesn't mean it's not here.
Well, it's not in its correct brush drawer. It's possible that it got put in the wrong spot when we were in a hurry to leave town.
Oh, I don't even know why this got saved. That's pretty much all the way empty. I'll just use this brush here. It'll be fine. Then we can wash it out good when we're done. It's due for a good scrubbing with soap.
All right.
So it's going to darken back up with the wax, and then as it cures, it'll lighten back up. That's the beauty of the DIY paint. You do get a little bit of highs and lows when you seal it because of the clay.
Cindy said she bought the nativity for her sister.
Oh, fun.
I like that. It's a good sister.
It's drying now. We should be getting to dry brushing it soon. It'll probably be the last thing we finish on this video, because we're starting to wrap things up. We're starting to do finish work.
The finish work always takes a really long time, longer than I expect. Like, I'm like, oh, we're making good time. And then I'm like, oh, to dry brush and seal and all that stuff. I'm not going to really bother to.
This brush is actually a really great wax brush.
Well, maybe we need to retire it anyways.
I've never used it
Got all
in
these
this
new DIY
application
brushes.
before, and it's just putting it on here super great. Nice and even and thick. It's also a good way to know if you missed a spot because you'll find a light spot on you.
Zeb, your friend is here that we usually share eggs with. You might want to let him know we're live. Like, hey.
Oh.
Kent. He's my friend too. But like, oh, they're back. Zeb, you might want to.
I don't have any eggs. It's fine. He's just bringing stuff.
Did you take my heat gun?
I did. It's right here.
Okay.
Here, I'll move it over there.
Okay. Hey, do you save any of the wax paint containers? I had somebody that wanted some, so I need to save some for them, but I have not done anything with them. Rob says, howdy, friends. Are you still wearing your mic, Zeb? Okay. Cody and Rex, don't bark. All right, I'm just heat gunning this and then I'll dry brush it. Sorry guys, Zeb's got to fix the camera here in a minute. So that means we've been on officially for 2 hours. Did you guys not bark at Kent? Those are good puppies. Oh, it's super blurry now, Zeb. I don't know what happened. Okay, hold on.
I can fix it.
All right. Yes, we're back. Sorry about that.
It's all dark though.
Yeah. Let's put some lights on.
It's getting super cloudy out there. It's supposed to snow in like an hour.
It's been so long that the daylight has turned to afternoon light. Sorry, guys. Ta-da! Did he just want to bring us some egg cartons?
Yeah, he likes to hang out and chat, but he's also knows that we work during the day, so he's like, oh, I'm interrupting, I'll go. Oh, I don't have my mic on.
They have their daughter and her, five kids?
5 kids now.
Live with them, and they go to church with us. And we share our eggs with them.
It's actually their son.
Well, yeah, their son and daughter-in-law.
Yeah. But they're living with
They're
living with them right now, trying to save up to buy a house because it's so crazy to, get a down payment because the housing market's gone so high up here. But he brings me freeze-dried bananas and stuff, and I give him eggs.
It's a good
swap.
It's a good relationship we got there. Did you distress your back door or just paint solid black? I want to paint my doors black, but I'm not sure. Nope, not painted. There's stuff on it from the dogs, but
it's not distressed. It's painted, but it gets wear and tear because we just wax it, and it's in the kitchen, and it's to the back porch. It's an exterior door, so we every now and then we come back through with some black wax and just touch it up, and it's pretty awesome. All right, this is sealed up. Now I'm going to do some dark wax.
That is going to dry lighter, just so you guys know.
Yes,
it looks really dark, but once the wax dries up, it'll dry lighter.
It'll dry about in between. Oh, need to remember to do these too. Don't forget these.
Okay.
Your toppers for those lamps behind us. All right, dark wax. I'm going to go get a smaller brush for those, little stencil brush. One of these days, he's going to come over here and we won't be live.
Sometimes he comes over and we're not live. But we're about to go live, or we're going to be painting or filming. All right, I'm going to set this to the side. This is my bin that my little jars are going to go in. Set that over there. What else do I need to do? This needs to be clear wax. Are you clear waxing or are you done with clear wax?
I'm just going to kind of put some on here and then I'll mush it around and see.
So the toppers to those candles.
So I'm putting the wax where it would naturally like sit down in the cracks if it was dusty, like age from dust and things.
Okay, Jamie, you decoupaged a world globe a few months ago. Do you still carry that flowered paper? I've been looking for the globe. Finally found anyone. I'm 2 hours from his shop. We have all the paper in stock, but I thought we did transfer. Are you sure
we did transfers on that? So we might not have that exact same transfer depending on if it's been retired or not. But we have all the paper is in stock, and if it's not out on the floor, someone can grab it. Like you're 2 hours from our shop now because we're closed Mondays, or you live 2 hours away from the shop. She lives
2 hours away. Don't come on Mondays because we're closed, but we're open Tuesday through Saturday. Yeah, and so we should have them all. If you want to email info@jamierayvintage.com, then you can see what's online, or you just come in and see the selection that we have in the shop. Okay.
Okay,
Rob says Zeb sure liked those new DIY brushes. They are pretty great.
Rob, they're amazing. As soon as you can get some, I recommend it.
Oh no, Joni says she figured out how to watch us on her 75-inch TV. That might be scary today. I threw my makeup on rather fast.
Can you see my, we're calling them my laugh lines.
Your eye crinkles?
Yeah. I was like smiling. Jamie's like, don't smile so big. You're getting really bad wrinkles around your eyes.
I was just teasing you.
I'm like, those are laugh
People
lines.
are going to think that I'm super vain. I'm only a little bit vain.
No, she just worries about wrinkles.
Not your wrinkles.
Not mine. I told her, I'm
Yours
like, those wrinkles are coming. We're not going to do a thing about them.
Those are just distinguished lines.
It was all in jest.
Yes, I know, but you say that and people don't know it, and then I get the mean comments. So the people are like, "You need to be nice to your husband." I'm like, "Listen, Linda, I'm nice. I promise you."
You're a sweetheart.
Yeah, you guys just don't know.
Why would they not know?
I don't know, because I come off sassy.
I've been like meaning to get a drink for like the last hour.
You're gonna go to the water fountain?
Yes.
We have a water fountain just the other side of the kitchen. Best idea ever. When we have a basketball hoop and a pool, and so we have a lot of kids in the summer. And so it's so nice to have a way for them to get a drink without you just getting a cup. As it is, we go through a lot of pool towels because everybody always forgets their towels when they come. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot." I'm like, "It's okay.
Don't worry, we just love doing laundry."
Don't worry, that towel's been used 82 times by other people. Fair warning. Don't bring your towel, you get what you get. Okay, I'm not going to worry about painting the back of this because this is going to get that decoupage paper that is
all right. So this is a little splotchier, and the dark wax it didn't pull off of everywhere I want. So we're going to come back through with the clear, and I'm going to show you how to kind of blend that a little and erase it.
Do we have sandpaper?
Yeah, I think I have some 80 grit. So
I don't want
careful with that. That'll scratch it.
I just want to sand the edges off.
All right, so back with the clear wax. This is going to really blend that dark wax in and pull some of it out of the cracks where I don't want it.
I'll just use water. This isn't dry all the way. It's dry enough though. I just want people to get the basic idea what it's going to look like, and then I can put it together off camera.
There we go. That's starting to blend in there nicely. And then I'll wipe this back again as well. And then we'll come in with the gold wax, the golden rule from DIY paint. Debbie's Design Diary DIY paint.
That's a full name.
That's the full name.
Zeb does not like things that are a mouthful.
I am all about acronyms and short names and nicknames.
That's why we call it the JRV for the Jamie Ray Vintage.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just sanding off the edge of the decoupage paper here so I can have it nice and neat.
Okay. So I'm pretty pleased with how sturdy this is after screwing that in. It's nice and solid. It does have a little rattle to it, but I think that's like up in here actually.
I'm gonna have to put more. I think I got that brush in the water, and guess who's gonna have to put more liquid patina on this?
All right, so we got this nice and grungy.
You came dangerously close to my eye with that spear.
I was watching you out of the corner. I was giving you the side eye.
Oh my gosh. Apparently there's this new thing where they say side eye. And so my daughter said it like 8,000 times while we were Disneyland this week.
She's like, side eye.
Teenagers are fun. They teach you all the lingo.
Eliza's especially fun with the lingo because she's like real into it.
She doesn't like it when
just kind of says stuff randomly, and I'm like, "What did you say?" But Eliza like embraces it, makes up her own new language. It's awesome.
What color did you use on the project that you're waxing, Zeb?
So this was farm fresh, and then just clear wax, dark wax, and then I clear waxed it again to pull some of that dark wax back because it got too heavy. Because it does have a lot of texture, and that was really sitting down in the clay salt wash mix that I did. The DIY paint and salt wash. And now we're going to do some golden rule, which is like a gold gilding wax.
John says we have a Ridgeback puppy who gives the best side eye ever, especially when you tell her no. Puppies don't like to be told no. Our schnoodle is like, nobody tells Cody no.
Yeah. Or as I like to tell him, no one tells baby no. Because Jamie literally carries him around like a baby if she's not doing
I do
stuff.
not.
Yes, you do.
Well, he is a baby.
Not anymore.
I was telling him, I said, I'm just a baby. I'm just lightly distressing the cracks of the decoupage paper because I want it to look like old art. But I'm being careful because this pulled up a little bit there. I need another coat, so I don't want to rip that all the way. You don't have to do this. If you want it to be perfect, you could actually lay down the patina, lay down the paper, iron it, lay down the more patina, then put a piece of cloth over it and iron it again, do the iron-on method, or you can use a steamer. There's like a million ways you can get it smooth. I wanted to have some cracks on there. So, since it's my project, I did what I wanted. Now, the question remains, where has my liquid patina gone? Does anybody remember where I put that?
It's right here in front of you.
Oh. Thanks. You mean this liquid patina?
That's the one you're looking for?
Okay. Jody says, I love the original green of the piece, Zeb, but it's gorgeous now. Way to pick colors. Zeb is pretty good. And like I said, it looks super dark, but it will not be that dark. It will have some of the dark wax on it, but
it'll all lighten up.
It won't be that dark. Honestly, I think it needs some dry brush, but that's just
maybe a little. I got wax on there though. Maybe a little white wax in here
I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. I'll let it dry before I make the ultimate decision, or you can make the decision. It's your piece. I don't want to.
I care little.
You care little
on any additions.
I don't want to be bossy about your piece, you know.
You can be all the bossy you want.
We don't call it bossy around here. We call it leadership skills. Although occasionally Zeb has leadership skills.
We both have strong leadership skills, so sometimes it's interesting.
Many times I have to tell Zeb, you are not the boss of me. He wants to be. And we have this joke. If you ever see us in real life and you hear Zeb or I tell the other one, obey me, it is a joke.
Or is it?
Because we'll both tell the other one, obey me, obey me.
I'll be like, hey, go make me a sandwich, obey me.
We both say it. It's hilarious. Inside joke. Okay, I did
welcome
another
to
coat.
Use that if you want.
Did another coat of patina on this because it was a little raised in a few areas, so that'll suck it down some more. Okay. I will. This is dry. So where's your clear wax brush?
There you go. I'm gonna pull some of this gold back off. It got a little bright in a couple of places. I just want it to be like a little kiss of gold.
If you don't want it to be that dark when it's dry, don't put dark wax on it. But when you seal it, it's going to get darker. You could put white paint in it to make it lighter, but the clay paint gets dark and then it'll lighten up and be somewhere between the wet color and the dry color.
I heat gun it, but it just melts the wax.
Yeah, like so you have to just wait to see what the final color is, but just clear wax won't make it super dark. I like it, especially with the white dry brush, because It really brings out the white because you have more contrast.
All right, so let's see if we can focus here. All right, so this is gonna tone way back, right? It's not gonna be this dark. It's gonna be more like that as it dries. But
it'll look splotchy for the first
the gold
24
was
hours.
super bright. You can leave the gold on there bright if you want, but I wiped a lot of that back because I just wanted it to be a hint of gold. It was looking a little streaky, which is what we had before, and I did not want that. So like right here, you can see it real well. It's kind of subtle down in there.
Are you ready for me to white dry brush your nativity?
I think it's close. Let me heat gun it real quick. That way, I'll put this back here.
These are going to need gold wax still. I think this one, I'm just going to clear and dark wax it, but these are going to need gold wax.
And this is going to be, we're almost at 2.5 hours.
Well, you know, sometimes it takes a few hours to get things done.
But it does. Usually we like leave it, let it dry, come back. It's kind of fun to just be like,
laundry.
It's 3 o'clock, we're done. Let's take it to the shop so it can get shipped out.
Right? Well, we're going to have to do some stuff after the camera's off. I got to paint the bottom of these candlesticks. I'm just going to do the bottom like plain farm fresh and seal it. It doesn't have to be the ornate finish of the top. Did you use the new brushes that you brought back from Debbie? Yes, that's what we've been using. This is Klingon.
This one.
All the ones with the blue ends are the Debbie brushes.
Yeah.
She sent us with them, so we've got to use them. And report will be to Debbie's shop next Thursday, a week from this Thursday. We'll have to tell her how we like them. Oh, I got to do the tops on these. I almost forgot.
All right, these are pretty well dry. I'm going to start passing them to the left.
Passing them to the left for the dry brush.
To the left-hand side.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Renee helped Leslie figure out her starting. You know, I might need to use a different brush because this is starting to dry. Like the paint starting to dry because I've left it out too much. You're right. All right, this has got to go in water. This has got to go in water.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to use a new brush for the dry brush on those. But I was going to use this brush anyways.
All right,
what colors did you use in the candlesticks? Farm Fresh and white linen. Let me drop a link to the DIY paint. So white linen is the cottage color with the built-in sealer. And then we used Farm Fresh on, not the candlesticks, the lamp sticks, but I know what you mean. I've been calling them candlesticks this whole time, and that's not what they are. It's okay if it's not like perfectly dry because I'm just going to hit the top. And then we'll let it dry for like a solid hour before we seal it. So one of the things you're not going to see on this live video is these completely finished because the nativity, I'm going to white dry brush it. Then we're just going to let them air dry for a solid hour. So that way all the paint is completely dry before we seal it. And when we seal it, the skeleton key is going to get darker because clay paint, the DIY clay paint dries light and then gets darker when you seal it. So it'll have more contrast once it's sealed because the darker skeleton key against the white dry brush will have more contrast.
Just trying to make sure that it's all dried off, at least on the surface with the salt wash. So
are these brushes available? No, they should be here by the middle of March.
They're available
shipped out by
for
the end of March.
pre-order.
Only pre-order on the brushes. Debbie does not have the brushes yet. These are just like the prototype brushes that they sent for her to see. They're really, for what the price point is, they're really nice. And they are the prettiest brushes.
All right, I think this wise man's ready.
All
Dry
right.
brush.
All right. I think this is well-rounded. Is that what this brush is called?
Mm-hmm.
if I remember. Maybe not.
Full commit.
Get in there. Well, I wanted to use this one because it can kind of get down into these cracks, whereas the other brushes can't. If you've ever had a problem dry brushing or blending because you have a heavy hand, I do feel like that's where these brushes really do
that
shine.
brush is just like you're not even having to work at it. You just
no, it's just easy on the wrist, and you can't overwork it because it's just such a soft bristle.
Oh, he's got a little on his face right here that I completely missed or rubbed off with my thumb. One of the two.
I'm not going to be able to dry brush completely like down into the cracks.
No, and I honestly wouldn't even worry about that because the dry brush is just supposed to hit the high spots, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like if you've ever watched.
I pushed too hard and I pulled off some of the paint.
Oh, right in the back. I think that's okay. Oh,
It's
yeah,
all
there
right.
you go. Fixed it. It reminds me of Bob Ross when he's doing like the and he's blending his like background scenery and like his gradient for the sunset he's gonna paint. He's got like those big floppy brushes and he's just like.
We'll probably wind up wet distressing a little bit, so it's okay if a little of the original finish comes through. All right, one wise man down.
All right, I'll bring you in for a close-up on these because they are so detailed and they're looking so good. He doesn't want to stand good because he's forward heavy, so you got to make sure he's really flat.
Yeah, and this table is not super flat with this thing.
Well, the drop cloth's throwing it off.
All right.
Okay, round two.
Did you do? Oh, sorry, that's not to me. That's here. Yes, we're using skeleton key and cottage color and white linen. And what I can do too after it's all the way dry, if I'm like, oh, I need to add more dry brush, I can totally just come back and do that. Like sometimes people are just overthinking it and it just makes it too hard to get things accomplished. So you don't have to be perfect with paint. Like you can just come back and fix it however you want. And if you get too much of the dry brush on there, you just come back and you add a dry brush of the skeleton key over the top of the dry brush of the cottage color white linen. Like, fine. No big deal. Next.
Oh, we're almost there.
Do you have the feather brush? What does the feather brush look like? I think the feather brush is the long one I was dry brushing before. It has like the long, it was the first one I was dry brushing with. It's in the water.
We have all the brushes that she offers. Almost.
Is that ready?
Almost. I think you can do it.
You think I can?
I just want to make sure you're not going to peel any paint off.
So if you see me doing this with my brush, I'm just making sure there's not any like gloppy paint on here because then it's too heavy. So you have to like make sure your brush is mostly dry. Hence the term dry brush. Man, these are probably a pain in the rear.
How many people are watching right now? How many people have been hanging in here with us?
488. If you've been here since the beginning, let us know. Holy moly. This is a lot of details, Ed.
I told you I was struggling painting them.
It's all right. It's fine.
There's some spots on the bottom of this that need painted up. And I'll come through once it's all dry and just do a coat of paint real quick on the bottom that doesn't have salt
No, I'm just
wash.
dry brushing the bottom.
Oh, you are. Good for you.
It's fine.
It's next level.
I know. There's basic level, then there's next level. Well, I have to flip it over to make sure like all the undersides are done anyways. I'm okay if there's like a few spots that don't have perfect amount of paint because we're going to distress them a little anyways, but. Julie's been here the whole time. Kathleen, Joey, T. Tegan. Carl says, holy moly, cannoli. My sister Renee has been here. What color is your drawers by the range? Beadboard. So all of our kitchen cabinets in this house are beadboard. Our last house, we used white swan. And this house, they're all beadboard. I've been thinking about redoing the cabinets because we want to get a bigger stove and range because we cook so much.
We can't probably go as big as we want to go, like industrial level, because I don't want to change the range hood.
No, we're not changing that. But
we could go a few inches wider
Zeb
in either side.
has always wanted to do custom cabinets. These are just the cheap ones from Home Depot, which are fine, but they've never been meant to be like a long-term.
They really, when we put them in, we're like, we're going to change these out in a couple years after we get settled in. And we're actually starting year 3 here at the farmhouse.
So when I repaint them, I'll probably just use cottage color. So that way, if I have to touch it up, I can touch it up with cottage color because it has a built-in sealer. And I don't have to like seal it.
That feels crazy to me that we've already lived here for 2 years.
Right? And we haven't got more done.
Because we bought it in the summer of 2019. July of 2019 is when we closed. And we got started with the demo. And then it took us 18 months. We moved in January of 2020.
Give me Mary.
No, January of 2021. No, she's got
a lot of stuff. What about that other Wiseman?
This Wiseman's, I mean, he's like the places you can reach with the brush, he's solid.
Okay.
So yeah, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, we haven't lived here that long, but I'm going to blink and we'll have been here 10 years.
Well, we bought it in 2019.
Yeah.
The same year we decided to take over, like a month after we bought it, the person that owned the shop that we were renting the back room from was like, I think that I'd like to not be here anymore. So would you like to take over the lease? I'm like, holy moly, I just bought this house to renovate. I don't want to run a shop. So I feel like we've always had so much going on because we were in the middle of renovating this and had never owned a store before. And we're trying to run a store.
And then we bought the church.
Then we bought the church, renovated that. Oh, Zed.
Mostly done. Did I miss? Oh, yeah. See,
there's a lot on this one.
Here. Yeah. I mean,
a
there's so many cracks and details.
All right. Heat gun that, and then I'll finish dry brushing that.
We still have like a ton of projects to do on this. We haven't really done a whole lot. We've been so busy. We literally have a trip, like not just like down the road, like a big trip every month until June. And then we get June off so far. And then we have trips in July.
We're going to be in Hawaii the end of May, beginning of June.
Yeah, well, I guess that one does go overlap, huh?
Yeah.
Here, this one's ready. Mary's ready.
Well, I have one niece getting married, and I have another niece almost engaged. So we're just planning ahead for that one. That's in Arizona. And then she's graduating, so that's why we're going to Hawaii. And then we've got this trip to California. And at some point, we'd like to get back over to Europe, but I don't know if that's going to happen this year.
Might be a long shot.
It might have to be a 2024 thing. We'll just go the beginning of 2024. I don't know. Do what you can.
All right. These are looking amazing. I'm going to set them up and then I'll zoom in.
Did you heat gun where I touched up on this guy? Because I'm going to have to come back to that guy. Like flip them over. There's a few spots you can kind of see where I painted.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
And on his face too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a big spot on his back.
Once I dry brush like this, and I know that my brush is mostly dry, that's when I can really go in and punch in with a dry brush. If you have a lot of paint onto your brush while you're doing the punching in motion, then you will get too much paint on there. So I thought I should tell you that because I don't know that I mentioned that earlier.
Are we doing anything to this? Do we need to stencil this still?
What? I already stenciled it. Did you not see that? Did you just see it? Are you talking about that thing there?
Mm-hmm.
I really went heavy on the white dry brush on the bottom of this one. So you might want to heat gun that before you put berry, right? Oh, just, it's fine. I'll touch it up. So there's our nativity. One of the wise men needs a little extra. All right, I'm going to get back to these then while you're doing that.
I think you're right. That back in the back there, that finial thing needs
Some
something
white.
else.
Right. Watch me.
It's not dry yet. You're just going to go for it? Yeah. Whatever flakes off, right?
It's fine. Can you put gold on those
Breaking all the rules, paint over wax, but it'll be great.
What are you charging? I think we charged this is already sold. I don't want to say the wrong. Is my phone dead? Oh, we've been on what, 3 hours?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours?
I'll fix it. I'll fix the camera.
I will have to look up how much we charged on that because I don't recall because we filmed that. We filmed the thrift haul a week ago before we left town. We filmed it Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So we might have to come back with more gold once I do this.
Okay.
Dry brush.
Well, that's a lot of dry brush.
Well, I'm not trying to do a lot. It's just happening, okay?
No, it's fine. It does need more. Okay. What are your plans on this to finish this out? Oh, you already stenciled it. Do we need to distress and wax it?
Just gonna quickly.
Or did you already distress this too?
What?
This piece here.
That just needs to be distressed.
Okay.
All right, this is gonna need more gold.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on.
Missed a spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
I will do more
gold. More gold, please. All right. I think I said all right like 80 times here, but I'm just not really sure where to go next.
We need to distress this.
All right, I'll distress that.
Do those need any gold on them?
Yes, these all need gold. This needs clear wax. We have about 15 minutes. So whatever we get done in 15 minutes is what happens. Where did you go with the sandpaper that I had, the 220? That's 80. That's 80. This is.
I'm going to go heavier gold on this time around. I went lighter last
that
time.
looks good with the heavy gold. Because we did the heavy white dry brush. Now you can get like next level with the gold. I like it. Are you trying to do a 4-hour live day? No, we need to be done by about 3 o'clock.
We're at 2.5 right now.
Because the kids besides Odelia start getting home from school. And we like to be done so we can talk to them about their day and because they get a little noisy.
Football practice starts and tumbling and
I actually don't think we have any
Odelia
tumbling
can
or
drive
football.
herself. The other kids cannot.
Sorry, I'm going to take this off. Just has a little bit of white that got on there, but I'm just going to go with it. I'm just trying to really hit the edges. Sorry if you can't hear me. A little teeny tiny bit of white got on here in a few spots, but I don't hate it, so I'm going to leave it. And then I'm going to go ahead and clear wax it so you guys can see what it's going to look like. Ta-da!
I'm just going to dab it. I don't want to wipe it off, but it is a
Yeah.
little stark in a couple spots.
No, I like that. That's better. What do you guys think? Did you like it before, or do you like it now?
No, I was looking at it back there far away, and I was like, oh, this is kind of dark. Even once the wax dries, it's still going to be dark.
Yeah,
So not wiping, still dabbing.
And we're dabbing. What will you charge for the beautiful manger? Oh, somebody asked me that. God.
Did your phone die?
Yeah. Okay. We are doing.
Could find a lot of nativities on there when you go to look. All right, that is better.
It was at $99.95, which is what I thought, but I didn't want to quote it wrong. So we sold it for $100. When we found it, we paid like $2 to $5 for each.
So 55222.
And how much was Jesus? Like $1?
Yeah.
We've had Jesus in our stash of nativity
So
extras.
$10, $16, $17.
And then we painted it and sold it for $100. Which I don't think is bad because this is a big set. And we hand painted it.
And you can't even tell I did the repair on this crown. It's like not even noticeable. All right, are you done sanding?
Sorry, it was $100 if you guys
Okay,
didn't.
more gold is definitely better on this.
The nativity already sold. Yes, it did. Some of the stuff hasn't sold. So if you go to JamieWrightVintage.com, click Saturday Thrift Haul, and you guys can see what is still available. It usually will sort what's still available out.
So people usually buy, like they pre-buy the stuff before we even paint it, because we have a pretty like stylized look. Like you know what you're going to get for the most part, unless I go rogue and paint something pink.
That's a very
Quick,
great
why distress it?
distressed look. We're going to go with it. I like it.
Oh, no, that's not good though. It's like got the...
Yeah, so it looks kind of splotchy.
There you go. Now it's better.
Looks aged. I need to
That's
stop
what I'm
putting
here
stuff. I know. I need to stop putting stuff in my...
Here, let me help you.
Thank you.
There you go. Now you can continue.
It's fine. It gives it a little texture.
Okay.
I have some on the other side too. See?
I'm going to gold on
It's
these.
like a little distressed texture situation.
So these have already been clear waxed. We're just going to put some gold on these ones too. These ones might be a situation because there's a lot of detail, and I'm going to try to just hit the tops.
I know you can do it. I have faith in you.
It doesn't take much wax. I think this is maybe our first or second wax, and we use it a ton. Yes, we're still live, Odelia. It's a Paintapalooza.
We're painting until the cows come home.
Which is in like 30 minutes.
Or the kids. All right, I'm going to just stop because they keep just... I'm making a big old mess. Good thing I want this to be like a distressed type finish, because that is what we are getting here. Oh, we're blurry. We're really blurry, Zeb.
I don't know if I can fix that. Oh, there we go. I can fix it. You guys will have to comment if you like these longer videos. I know there's some people that chime in and some people that are like, oh man, that was way too long. If they don't
like them, they could stop watching. You're not holding anybody hostage. So I kind of got some chippy white paint in a few weird spots, but I think once I buff it all out, it's going to look good. And it's going to be cute with canning jars in it. Jamie, did you call your kids cows? No.
It's a high chance.
But
She said cows or kids.
cows or kids. I actually said till the cows come home, and then I was like, actually, the kids, same. Just clear waxing everything. I know one of these candlesticks already sold, but I do like to, even if I sell things individually, I like to paint. Oh, that was wet in there. I like to paint the candlesticks similar finishes, and then in the shop, if they don't sell, I put like the light candlesticks together. One's done. Laura says she loves the long videos, and Teresa says I ordered the molds and clay today. Yay!
You won't be sad. The clay is good.
So many endless possibilities. So much fun. Feels very artsy-fartsy to use the molds and the clay.
Artsy fartsy.
Wow, there's like artsy, and then there's really artsy, and that's when you add the fartsy.
I'm glad you cleared that up for me.
Yeah. It's not just art gas, in case that's what you're wondering.
It's like high octane.
High octane. Oh my gosh. Okay. What do I need to still do? I'm going to wax this one. Oh, you know what? I think that my one project is done. How are you going to attach the decoupage to that frame?
Oh,
When
I
you're
had my
finished with
staple gun
these,
out.
We'll get that put together.
I just need to do like this top tier here.
Okay, I'm just going to seal this cute little
And one of these is done.
lamp up. This is my single lady lamp. It's just a single lady, not a pair. Still cute. We rode the single rider line at Disneyland at the Cars ride, and then what else did we ride it at?
The web
The
slingers.
Spider-Man, and we were able to get through so much faster. I loved it. And actually, Jack and I, even though we were in the single rider line, we got to do the Cars ride together, and we raced Zeb, and we won. In case you're just tuning in, we went to Disneyland last week with the kids. We just got back yesterday about 7 o'clock. So today we have a huge long list of things to do, but I'm like, let's just do a Paintapalooza because it doesn't require that much brain power. It's just fun. And it's productive because we have to get all the stuff painted. This next week, we bought so much stuff today. That's to be painted. The next thrift haul is going to be lots of painted stuff.
We got enough for one thrift haul at each store.
Well, the one store, we just bought a lot of big stuff, so I might divide that up.
And then we were like, let's get little stuff, and then we got big stuff again.
Just a few big things. All right, that's all waxed. The feet are waxed. Is Jamie pregnant? No, sorry, Christy. Just fat. I've had 5 kids, so sometimes leftovers hang out, but nope. That is not even a thing in the Ray house anymore. No more babies here. I think now that I'm 40, I feel like it's all right to be done.
Yeah.
And I had 5 kids. I always tell people my 6th child was Jamie Ray vintage. It keeps me up at night and takes all my money.
But also makes all the money. Like legit.
How old are my kids? They are 20. A lot of people are like, where's Harrington? My oldest child is 20 and he no longer does everything with us because he's an adult.
He's like got his own thing going on. He works a full-time job.
And he snowboards a lot.
Yeah.
And he likes to go off-roading. So, and he actually does not like to be in front of the camera much. So you probably won't see him.
Every now and then he'll be feeling all kinds of froggy and he'll get up over here in front of the camera and do some silly antics, but not often.
Jalissa says I'm not fat. I'm perfect. I know. I'm just saying I have a little extra weight in my midsection, which I'm well aware. But, oh, Harrington. Yeah. So he's busy. He's doing his own thing. He's 20. And then Odelia is 17.
Graduating in 2 months.
Graduating from high school this year. Eliza is almost 14. Redrick is 11, turning 12. And Jack is 8, turning 9 this year. We have 5 kids. And Jamie Ray Vintage, if you look at when we started our LLC, will be 8 this year. right? No,
Yes.
because Jack's turning 9.
Yep.
So yes, Jamie Ray Vintage will be 8 this year.
April 24th is when I quit my job and we went full time with it, like hardcore.
The business long before that, but I was just like a sole proprietorship. So the LLC has its 8th birthday this year. So because I worked many jobs and then started Jamie Ray Vintage quite a few years before Zeb came on to work with me.
Yeah, we were still living in the other house down the street, like back in 08.
Yes. I also have 2 dogs, 2 sheep, and 20-something chickens.
I counted them the other day.
We had ducks, but alas, they were all boys. And so now we have duck meat.
And we couldn't keep didn't seem like worth keeping one duck. And they can't be in with the chickens because they'll kill them.
Boy ducks will. Girl ducks can roll with the chickens.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all sealed. So when you're ready, we can put it with the decoupage paper.
Almost done.
Cold Kick says a little fluffy. That is right. And I'm also wearing a giant sweatshirt. But c'est la vie. Oh, Carol said she bought the candlesticks from Saturday So Tall. Did you watch and see how those turned out? They're all the way done. Should I show them?
Yeah, they're over there. Like you can go grab all that stuff while I finish waxing.
Okay, so
I'm almost done. It actually wasn't as tedious as I thought.
Painted quite a bit of stuff in our thrift haul last week. Some of it is actually already at the shop because I forgot that it was for this week's thrift haul because things got all mixed up trying to get ahead last week. But these are the things that have not been dropped off yet. The lamp sold, the candlestick sold, and the llama's already sold. So they got to get shipped out.
And the llama?
And the llama.
Hot dog.
So these are the candlestick sets. Skeleton key, cottage color and white linen, and copper patina, and then just a clear and dark wax. Here's the cute little llama. I'm going to send this little greenery with it, even though it wasn't supposed to come with it, just because it fits perfectly. And then here is Zeb's clock. All right, while you're doing that, I'll show them the other things we finished earlier in case they're just tuning in. We've got this basket that we see how it's the liquid patina dried. It's still wet and it will just keep getting darker and better, but this is just the decoupaged drop cloth with the French fruit label stenciled on it. And then here is my little box that I put my sheep on, and it's got just a little cute little box with a latch that I white dry brushed. And I still need to seal up the sheep, so I guess I can do that now. Where's my wax? You got the clear wax?
I think there's some in here. No?
So the clear wax brush. Oh, I put it back here. I just need to wax the sheep because the rest is sealed. So that's all done now. And then this frame's already sold, and I'll wait till we're not live anymore. I'll have Zeb help me, but we have this picture of Jesus, and it goes in this frame. So I just need Zeb to help me put back the, ta-da! We did this frame. And then I'm going to heat gun this. This is what goes in this frame, because this was actually just made to hang on the wall like this, but I thought it'd be really cute to have something behind it.
Oh, do I need to put that together real quick?
Yeah, let me just, well, it's mostly dry and the rest can just dry in place. So the way this goes is this is going to go on the back here. Zeb's going to staple gun it. And then when we're no longer live anymore, I will paint the edge to match this. And then we've got this piece here. Okay, so Delissa says, what is your favorite thing about your house? And Zeb, what is yours? So, like my favorite thing of everything is probably that we have a pool. I love the pool. I also love that we have a giant walk-in shower with 2 shower heads. And so sometimes when Zeb and I want to get away from the kids, we just both go take a shower and then we just sit there and talk, and the water's warm, and we're usually achy because we work a lot. So it's great to like sit in the shower with warm water and talk about life.
It's like a sauna.
What's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing about the house?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I love the ceiling in here. Like the vaulted ceiling that we did. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. Probably the largest single project
It cost,
in the
because
building.
we had to pay an engineer and we had to buy the engineered beams, it probably cost well over $20,000 between the engineer work and the beams.
So we'll kind of give you a weird pan here. I can't really take the camera on a walkabout, and there's lots of videos of us doing this and how we did it and the engineering.
It's insulated from the outside because we had to redo the roof. So we built a grid system on top. We put insulation, then we put the roof on.
All right, bring that back in closer, show you all the things. Is everything done?
Yeah, well, as done as we're gonna get it. Do you want to did you say you did bring in the nail gun? You can finish that up.
Oh yeah.
You want to show them the little angel?
So this is copper, the liquid patina copper, pennies from heaven.
There's my angel. A lot of white dry brushing today. And it probably looks a little overwhelming with the white dry brush in all one area, but here's the situation. In our shop, it is not all white dry brush. So whatever doesn't sell will be spread out through the shop and it will look great. But that's how you batch paint. You kind of pick a style and go with it. Otherwise, you will have every single color, every single brush, every single thing you own dirty, and it's just easier to do it like this. And then when you mix it in with your other stuff, it doesn't all look the same. So, all right. And then this, if you guys are just tuning in, I waxed this and it's just going to get 3 canning jars. I'll stage it with some flowers and that. So this we thrifted. And then this is going to get staged. I'm not shipping it with it, but once this is all dry, which will take a while, I'm going to stage this with 3 canning jars with flowers in it. Oh, that turned out cool. It's like stained glass. That's what I was thinking. When I saw it, I was like, I could paint it and just sell it the way that it is. Let's get our safety glasses on without the decoupage in the back. But I was like, I want to try something new. Where are my... It'll be all right. That's not going anywhere. Your famous last words. Oh, is that staple going to work? I think you're going to need nails. Oh, I might need longer staples. Yeah, that's... Okay, those are too small. Just show them and we'll do it off camera. We'll get this. I'll just do a nail gun. I'll just get my 1/2-inch nail gun on there. All right, so the colors used today, Skeleton Key, Farm Fresh. All the dry brush is done with cottage colors in white linen. We used Old School. I just almost fell over trying not to hit the camera, and I hit the camera. Clear wax, dark wax, gold wax. Am I missing anything? And then we used the We Praise Him decoupage paper, the JRV decoupage paper, and we put that behind that. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, and then I also used, the only stencils that I used are the Simple Living stencil for the sheep on the basket, and then I used our Transfer Wear border pack to stencil this cute piece here. And you also painted this. Zeb's okay. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. Even if I had fallen, I would have been fine. Zeb's tough. Because that's the rules. And now we have a big mess to clean up, but we're mostly done. We can get all dropped off at the shop tonight. And then they can start shipping out the thrift haul next week. I will photograph everything that hasn't sold, gets photographed and updated on the website. I don't bother to update items that have sold. I will do like a little reel so people can see all the fun painted projects, but other than that, we're good. If you guys want to shop along, I'm going to drop one more link. This is for the paint, but you can go to this link and find these items if you just go to the main menu for the Saturday thrift haul. And then anything you can't find, if you have any questions, email info@jamierayvintage.com. Please, please, please share this video out if you like it. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more DIY. Bye, you guys. Have a great day. I really like this. This turned out good. This frame's good too. Thanks. It really